What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream of Let's Get Nuts. We've been gone for a month already. Would you believe it? It's crazy, but we're getting close to Halloween. I've got my SWAT vest on here for you guys, and I know some of my panelists have some costumes on as well. Hopefully you guys just tuned into the 16 podcast, the She Said No podcast. I know they wrapped it up as we were starting the video today. So if you guys missed that after Let's Get Nuts today, go over and support Marco and Gigi there. But today, guys, at Let's Get Nuts, we got a big show for you. We've got Hot Toys news to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about Halloweens, some Halloween party wins and some fails, some wins, losses, whatever you want to say. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Matthew Perry as well, but we're going to keep it respectful, obviously, share some good memories and some thoughts there as well. But guys, we got a packed show, so stick around. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can never miss a Let's Get Nut podcast. That's a hard thing to say. And guys, with that said, let's get it going.
Come on, let's get nuts.
I give you Ben Thomas.
Showtime.
Here we go.
Of course, Marco said my show sucks and that nobody should watch Mr. Shiny Shiny. Of course, it wouldn't be Marco if he didn't give me some shit on the other side of the fence in the internet window. Guys, we've got some great panelists here today. So I'm going to bring in the first, of course, being Mr. Classy Thomas with his sparkly glasses on for the show on Sunday.
That's right.
Good to see you, buddy. Welcome back. It's been a whole month since we streamed together. You hate to see it.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Dude, how you doing?
Yeah. Was looking forward to it. Was glad you announced it and invited me back in. Glad to be here. And I had some Halloween ideas to pop on, and they didn't quite work out. But I said, the sparkly glasses always work. Unless you're prone to fits of epilepsy. So, if you have a little epilepsy, look away, avert your eyes, and hopefully I will not bother you too much.
Fair.
But I'm glad to be here.
Don't stare into Thomas's eyes throughout the show.
Not look into my eyes,
epilepsy.
Exactly.
That's awesome, buddy. Well, it's good to see you back. I think you've been streaming more than me lately, so soon you're gonna have your own channel and just or like your own live show and just bring me in and have fun that way. So maybe
I might have to do that.
Our next guest we've got here, the scary Jose G. Hernandez himself. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Looking good.
I'm doing well, and I got a question for you.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, my favorite scary movie. That's a really good question. I would say that I watch every single year Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's not a very scary movie. So if I was to say I want to be scared, it's probably the original Halloween. It's something that I almost always put on at least once a year. That William Shatner mask freaks me out still, just that little bit. What about you, Thomas? What's your favorite scary movie?
I revisited one that I have not seen in years, but it was like I think it had to be the 1940s or something version of The Bad Seed. That movie is so disturbing and frightening because, oh my gosh, I mean, if you haven't seen it, I think they did a remake of it, but go back and revisit the older version of it because it is so creepy. That little girl, oh my gosh, that little girl is, those of you who do not have children may decide that you don't want to have children after seeing The Bad Seed.
That's fair. I've not heard of that one. I live by myself now, and my cat's not very good, snuggling. He's really heavy. He's really good at stepping on your balls and then walking away. He doesn't cuddle that much, so I don't have much to be. A lot to be afraid of these days. You say. Right. But what about you, Jose? Is it Ghostface? Is that your favorite specifically, or?
Yeah, it would be the original Scream would be my favorite. But I love Halloween. I love the original Halloween as well. So it's usually Scream, Halloween, and then the Nightmare series. So those are my favorites.
I watched Hocus Pocus recently with the intention to watch Hocus Pocus 2, and then I just never got to it. This happens to me every year. I'm kind of on the fence, though. I feel like the second one might ruin it for me, the first, but we'll see. Let's get in the other panelists here. We've got Mr. Eddie Money Mendez in the back. Good to see you. As you guys can all see, Eddie is actually dressed up today as his critical self.
Yes.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining.
Non-critical self.
Non-critical self.
I'll be more conformist today.
That's
in the
right.
Halloween costume. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. I don't have any. I was looking around. I don't have anything to like. I don't even have sparkly glasses like Thomas. So
Yeah, you could, like, I thought maybe you'd have like a bandana or something that you could
I could
rock
put
like
the
when you're at the
bandana
gym,
on.
you
I
know,
rock
pumping
the-
iron.
I rock the bandana for LWO. So if you want,
Yeah, put it
Mexican
on.
Eddie, I can
mean-
throw that on.
I mean, you do you, buddy, but you're gonna have to stare at me in this SWAT costume otherwise. So you know,
Wow.
that's all.
I was
that's
gonna
what you
ask Thomas, is the bad seed what the good child was based on? Is that like a?
I don't know. I've never seen The Good Child, so I'm not really sure of that. But I know that The Bad Seed did. There were some other movies that I think were kind of based off of that. For example, like I think The Orphan. I think that one may have gotten some inspiration from things like The Bad Seed, but I don't know if it's not a direct one-to-one comparison. And I for some reason I want to think that they actually did a remake of that movie, a more modern version of it. But
I feel like it was. I feel like I heard somewhere that the good child was a remake of the bad seed. That's why I thought of it.
I feel
Yeah,
like the
I'm not
naming
sure.
conventions are a little too similar. It's a little suspect, you know. So we do have another panelist here, but now he's off his camera, so I don't know if he's in the back. Oh, he is. Here we go. Are you guys ready for it? Are you guys ready for it? Mr. Shane, 1/6 figure focus himself in the Stormtrooper helmet gear. You love to see him. It looks a little bit like a Finn jacket, though. You know what I mean? I could see this as being a Finn outfit, buddy. But how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Can you talk in this bad boy or not really? No. No. We are going to show some photos of Shane here shortly in full Stormtrooper gear. It's actually pretty impressive shit, I'm not going to lie. But Shane, I know you've been drinking beer already. I want to say this morning because it's kind of still morning for me, but how's your afternoon been? Are you sloshed and ready to go for Let's Get Nuts?
I guess not.
We
Okay.
popped him out. Oops. I think that was my bad. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Must be
What I
drunk.
was saying
Good to
is,
see it.
I've had one beer,
Oh, only one. Okay,
Yeah,
like
so-
Jesus.
but
That's not-
you savor it. You savor it. I haven't had a beer since I think the last time I had a beer was the start of August. So yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Are you you working tomorrow? You teaching tomorrow or?
No, I have a week off. I have a week off. So
Week off.
yeah.
I got you at the right time for the return of the show then.
Absolutely, yeah, really
Love to see
looking
it.
forward to it. Sorry I'm a bit late, and good to see everyone.
Yeah, no
Thomas and
worries.
Jose, Eddie, Money Mendez.
What's up, man?
Good to see everyone. Yeah,
Happy to have you
so,
here, buddy.
all
Happy
good,
to have you
all
here.
good.
I thought about shaving my head for this costume and doing like black eyeliner and like a whole bunch of stuff, but I kind of ran out of time this weekend. I ended up painting the walls in my living room, and then nobody ended up coming over, and I ended up going to another party. So it was a whole lot of effort for absolutely no reason this weekend. We will have Pete from Only Fools and Collecting coming in about 45 minutes. I know the time change for him has kind of messed him up a little bit schedule-wise, so if you guys are missing Pete, he will be here to say hello in his British lovely voice, but he'll miss some of the beginning of the show. But guys, we've got here about 14 or 15 people already joining us live, so let's check in with the chat, and then let's get into some topics, because I've got some funny ones, I think, for you today. So, first of all, we have the movie canon. He says, hello, just recently subscribed to your channel. This is Gio from SoCal. Looking forward to future content on your channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, good sir. I definitely appreciate it. I saw you over on the 1/6 Fix podcast there as well, and making your rounds in the 1/6 scale community, I can see. Eddie Rodriguez, we got 3 nuts. You love to see it. Mike B, very excited to see Ben back. Thank you, good sir. I definitely appreciate it. Warm welcome from everybody. I've had a couple people asking me over the last couple weeks when the show is coming back. And I needed a bit of a break. You know, sometimes you can just be a little too nutty for too long, and you need that time. But I'm happy to have you guys all here with us again today. Niculio, hello, Bendita. Good to see you, buddy. We got Mark P in the chat. What's up, Ben Thomas? Good to see you here. We got Thalia Meyer. Hello, everyone. Shiny says, Ben, Marco said your show sucks and then nobody should watch it. And I didn't listen, and I'm watching it anyways. I love your face, buddy. I love your face. The Empire Strikes. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. We got Gigi herself, which I don't know if you guys saw, but absolute fire in a Captain America costume. Good on you, Gigi. You make you make Marco look not that pretty, but he's a lovely guy anyways, so good on him. But I love you guys. I'm glad you had a chance to make it, and thanks for wrapping the show so we could do Let's Get Nuts right after. We got Money Mendes in the chat himself. We also have 16FigureFocus here. And Yomo in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. He says, yo.
Yomo.
I think I got everybody so far, but we'll check in again here in a little bit. So, guys, I wanted to show you this because Dean the Dream Martin, he's an artiste, I gotta say. And I stream with Dean over on Collecting Weekly. So if you're new to my show here, every Tuesday night, I'm part of the live main show with the Collecting Weekly boys. And we talk about figure news, stuff that's similar to this, but, you know, a little different as well. Zach and Dean have a bit better of a structure. We're a little more nutty over here. But I reached out to Dean recently to say, hey, I want to start thinking of different logos for the Let's Get Nuts show. Can you draw up a few things for me? Just like small stuff, nothing crazy. So this was one. He drew a nut in a Batman costume that also looks a little bit like a nutsack if you look a little closely there.
Yeah, I was about to say
so,
that bit.
You know, it's nut and nutsack all in one slide. This
First
one's
thing
not
I
too
noticed.
bad. This one,
And I don't want to get closer.
It makes me want to get a real Batman costume, but no, we'll see. Then he drew me this one, which is the Does He Speak English nutsack in nut form. This is a joke from Collecting Weekly. I tend to put my foot in my mouth a little too often, so that's why Dean drew this one, the Does He Speak English nut. Love to see it. And then this one, which actually has now slowly become the actual new logo for the show for Let's Get Nuts. Dean did this himself. I haven't figured out a way that I'm going to be able to pay the man yet. I'm either going to give him some money or send him some food or whatever he's willing to accept. But I really appreciate that he put that together for me because it's pretty cool. So thank you, Mr. Dean. I just wanted to highlight you guys there. Dean is a good artist, though. So for any of those YouTubers out there, prospective artists that are looking for, you know, somebody who can create some logos and stuff, reach out to Dean. If he's got a flat rate at some point, I'm sure he'd be willing to consider it. But he also likes doing art at his own time. I don't know if he likes doing it under pressure. So we'll see. Poke the man anyways. Guys, just to get a little bit warmed up. Thomas, if you had to come up with a name for this album, what would the name be?
I think I might call that Shrouds and Thrones.
Shrouds and Thrones. I love it. I love it. Jose, what do you think, buddy? What's your album cover name?
Anakin has something similar that with Ghostface. He likes to slice and dice, you know? So he likes to slice and dice people, so I'd call it Slice and Dice.
Slice and Dice. Love to see it. Eddie, on the spot. What do you think? Album name.
Sith
Eddie hates
Jam.
these on the spot. Sith Jam.
Sith Jam.
That's
Yeah.
man, you pulled that out right out of the chest. I love to see it. And of course, Mr. Shane. What do you think?
How did no one say, get sit or die trying? Come on, guys. Come on.
Yes, I love that. Very, very good. All good. You guys crushed it. So just for the record, I don't tell these guys what these slides are going to be before these shows because I like seeing awkward on the spot thinking. You guys are awesome. Mine was something dark side. But I think I like Shane's the most, but something dark side.
Oh, I like that. That's funny.
That's awesome, guys. I appreciate that. It makes me feel a little warmed up because I was thinking about Halloween, obviously, and we're dressed up today. Eddie looks like a biker. Shane looks like a badass. Jose, Ghostface. Thomas, just obviously classy. And this is clearly what I wear to bed at night because who doesn't want to rope into bed and all. But I was thinking about Halloween parties, and I wanted to know if you guys have ever had like a Halloween party that you were like super excited about. What did that entail? Or did you ever have any like Halloween party fails? So I'll tell you my story really quick. First year of college, I get invited to the biggest university Halloween party that exists on campus. And I'm so excited. I know there's going to be ladies all over the place. I'm a single young man at the time. And I say to my best friend, Jeff, let's go to this party. Let's dress up. We'll have fun. Maybe meet somebody. Have a crazy night. we get to this party, okay, and Jeff's in tow. He's a little bit anxious. I'm usually kind of that extroverted introvert, so I like talking to everybody. But this particular evening, Jeff decides that he's going to take a sip from the community vodka bottle that's being passed around the whole party. This is something that I do not recommend for anybody. I didn't drink it. I'm like, there's absolutely no way I'm sipping that bad boy. He takes at least one, not 2 swigs, at least one. Totally fine, right? Yeah. About a half an hour goes by. I can't find my buddy Jeff anywhere. I get a text from the guy. He's out, face down, in the grass, in a pile of throw up, on the front yard. It is only 10 after 8. I had to pick this guy up off the grass, put him in a cab, drive him home, and that was the end of the night for the Halloween party. I missed probably the best Halloween party I will ever have because of that guy drinking out of the community vodka bottle. So don't do that at parties, especially if you don't want to kill your buddy's nights. Mr. Thomas, did you ever have a crazy Halloween party story, buddy, or anything that was ever even like a win, maybe not even a fail, just something that you went to that you thought that's the coolest Halloween party I've ever been to?
Well, you know, I've only been to one Halloween dress up party. It was when I was an adult. I was working at the university, and some of my colleagues were getting together and wanted to go to a party at one of the local clubs, and I was like, "Hey, I'm down." And they said, "Hey, let's dress up." So I dressed up as my father was a OBGYN, and so I said, "Hey, Dad, you got your old doctor's bag?" And I said, "You know, I'm gonna go as a doctor." I think I purchased a one of those surgical smocks, the little white coats that they wear, and had some weird hair and everything like that. And I think that the name tag on it said Dr. Seymour Butts or something like that.
Nice.
And yeah, I just went as the doctor. I had my stethoscope and everything like that ready to do some on the spot physicals if needed. And my friends were all around. I had a good friend of mine. She was dressed up as one of the Harry Potter gals, and of course, you know, all the women. You know, every women's Halloween costume is always sexy something. So it's either I'm a sexy nurse, a sexy doctor, a sexy police person. She was a sexy Hermione.
Okay.
And so she was dressed up as sexy Hermione. I was like, okay, everybody's got to be sexy. So, but yeah, I mean, that was a great time. I had a really, really good time. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't have a lot of friends that I spend time with locally that really like to do things on Halloween, and it's sad because I mean I love dressing up. When I go to Dragon Con, I always like to bring and dress up as a costume because I don't know, it's fun to dress up as something other than yourself every day.
And yet you had no pictures of you in costume?
No, I do have some pictures.
Thomas, that was the you missed the assignment, Thomas. You were supposed to put it in the show sheet chat. You need to see it.
I didn't see the show sheet literally until about an hour ago, and I would have had to have gone through my Facebook page. But yeah, I have some pictures of that.
Well, if you find them while the other guys go, send them in the show sheet. If I can pull them up, I will.
All right.
But Thomas, now that I know you dressed as an OBGYN at a party checking girls' temperatures, now I can see why there wasn't a lot of photos from that Halloween event. Eddie, what do you think, buddy? Did you ever have any like Halloween fails or excitement parties? Anything that you were like, that was the best thing?
I am sorry to ruin the segment for you, but I don't think I've ever been to a Halloween party in my life.
What?
So I'm not the biggest Halloween guy. Like I used to dress up and go out with my little brother when I took him trick-or-treating, or like with my other brothers just walking around the neighborhood going to like see who did a scary house or something that we would walk through. But I was never did Halloween parties, never did like crazy dressing up, so I can't really think of anything on the spot of like a party or even anything to do with Halloween where it's like a crazy story. So
it's mind blowing.
I'm sorry.
Mind blowing. No, it's cool. For me, it was always like St. Patrick's Day in Ontario, Canada. was always crazy. I assume that everybody who's Irish dresses in green, dances around, and drinks beer all the time, not just on St. Patrick's Day.
No.
You're smashing my imagery, Shane. But
No, man.
but no, I loved St. Patrick's Day. That was always a good time. And then Halloween was always fun to say the least. But I would agree with you in the sense, Eddie, that I never liked buying a new costume every year because it does add up, and you need like a whole wardrobe for that shit otherwise. So
When I was a kid, I would dress up for school because you get to dress up for school, and that was always really cool. When I was in elementary school, I would go, and it was usually like a vampire or something. Because when I was in elementary school, it was popular to be Scream, and I always wanted to be Scream, but for some reason my mom wouldn't let me be Scream. I don't know if it was because she didn't like Scream or if it was because every kid in the world at that time wanted to be Scream, like this guy. And I was never like allowed to be Scream, so I was always either a vampire, like something basic, a werewolf, something like that, or where I could just paint my face or throw a mask on. But
that's fair.
my biggest Halloween like tradition growing up was watching scary movies and eating what my mom would call Monster Mash, which was like popcorn with different stuff thrown in it, like popcorn and candy and hot Cheetos and stuff like that. We would throw that together and like make a mix of snacks, and we'd watch Halloween movies. So that was always the thing I did on Halloween. We didn't ever really like do parties or anything, even after growing up, like.
I would say that is still a huge win, though. Like, that reminds me back of New Year's Eves when I was a kid. My parents would stay up. We would have the big full spread out, usually like different like cheese and crackers and pit chips and all the stuff. And like a lot of New Year's Eves, we would watch like Planet of the Apes movies, for example, like all the old original ones all night until the ball drops, stuff like that. But no, I think those traditions are still just as cool as going out and partying. I've never been a big drinker myself, but I just always liked seeing all the ladies in the costumes. I mean, let's be honest. So, but Jose, it looks like you know how to do Halloween because you were the first person who submitted a couple pictures. This is Jose in both Spider-Man gear, and of course you can see him in his Ghostface gear. Tell us a little bit about this costume and one of your favorite Halloweens or your biggest L's on Halloween. What do you think?
Oh gosh. Well, this costume, I just put it together. I had the homecoming outfit, and so I found this mask. It was like Hot Topic or something, $10. I bought it. But I had to use like a hard shell to kind of give it more of that look. You don't see that behind the scenes. They just see that they take off the mask.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, right?
Yep.
So you just see them. You see how he takes off the mask, like in the movie. In the movie, he'll just go like that. He'll just take off the mask.
Yeah.
And you don't notice how he's wearing a hard shell underneath, right? That kind of gives him the form. So I had to find a shell here that kind of made it look a little bit nicer. But overall, this kind of was my kind of just put together costume for Spidey one Halloween. I think it was a few years ago, about like 2017, 2018.
And then you're rocking this one, which this is a great photo, by the way. This is I put this in the screen grab for the show today because I thought it was such a cool looking photo.
Thank you.
I didn't even realize it was him.
It's
when
like
he
a
said,
still from
I
the
made
movie.
the cover.
Yeah.
He said I made the cover, and I was like, "Where the hell are you in the cover?"
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was him as Scream.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, we took it. I had to for undergrad. I had to do a project where basically I told a story through photos, through pictures, right? Like a cinematographer. So I kind of had to show like scene by scene. And this was a scene where I had a friend of mine, a lady who helped me, and I was in costume. It was actually a few of us in costume, but this one was me. And we had shot it like a few days, like if it was a movie. And we shot it in like this park that had like these nice trees. And yeah, I got an A on it. So
Yeah, this looks amazing. This looks like it's straight out of the film itself. Now, the Ghostface mask you're wearing right now, it looks a little dirty in comparison to this one, eh? Like, or is it the same mask? Did you weather it? Like,
no, this one is from the latest movie, Scream 6.
I haven't seen that one yet.
If you have not seen that movie, I won't go into details about it, but basically this is one of the original masks, and someone is now using it in the movie. So kind of like a callback, a nostalgic callback to the original movie. They're using this older mask. So this is why I have this one. It's from the latest movie from this year.
Very cool. So what would you say then is your favorite Halloween memory or your biggest L on Halloween?
Oh gosh. Biggest, I gotta go with L. I had a very similar story to the one that you mentioned. My brother took me to a. I'll try to keep it PG-13. This is not LWO, but basically he took me to a party, and I was a little on the younger side. I must have been like 16, 17. He took me to a party. He was with his buddy. We lost his buddy, but we saw him grinding with a woman. People are dance, right, at parties. And later on, we found him outside on the floor, puking, and some big guy, like a tank, kind of looked like like a tank, was trying to tell him to get up. And we were like, hey, leave him alone. He's drunk. And he said, no, this guy was dancing with my girlfriend. And we're like, oh. And so we said, well, okay, this guy is a little drunk. How about we just, let it be? And he's like, nah, screw you. And then he pushed my brother, and that led to a big fight. And I got involved, and I fought some other friend of his, and I was 16. Anyways, wow. That was an L.
That's definitely an L. Hey, at least you were there though, right? A little support for the brother. You love to see it. But no, that's cool, man. Let us know in the chat too, guys, if you guys are watching and tuning in. What's one of your biggest Halloween wins? What's one of your biggest Halloween L's? I would love to hear from you all. Read them out as I see them come through. Shane, this is incredibly exciting to see, because I think this goes beyond Halloween. Like, this is straight up cosplay badassery. Tell us a little bit about the costume, how you got it created, like, if you don't mind, like some of the details, like if you're willing to share, what did it cost? Like, tell us about it.
You know what? This is a really, it's kind of apt. And as much as a big Star Wars fan I am, there's an episode of Friends where Monica is dating Jon Favreau's character. He's like super rich. Pete Becker, I believe his name is in the show. And Joey and Chandler are they're kind of obsessed with this, the fact that he's like a billionaire. And they're saying, I think Monica has to get him something for his birthday or something like that. And like, what do you do? What do you get the guy that has everything? He's like, they're listing out all this stuff. Does he have this? Does he have this? Does he have this? And he goes, does he have like a life-size stormtrooper outfit? And she goes, he has 2. And I remember being a Star Wars fan at the time going, that would be awesome. Do you know what I mean? So obviously we're going to talk about it later on, but rest in peace, Matthew Perry. But that's genuine true. It became the seed was sown in my head then. That would be cool. That would be really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
And basically I got sick of, like, I love Halloween. It's a great time. Like, we get a week off over here if you're in school. And obviously because I'm a teacher, I have a week off. And I love this time of year. It's a bit colder. It's kind of, it's cool. It's dry. The leaves are falling. It's beautiful outside. You can start wearing your winter clothes and all that. And I like Halloween. But man, I'm so disorganized when it comes to actually Halloween parties. I got so sick of, like, last minute being invited to parties and going, I have no costume. And I remember I was always really like to do this. And I just bit the bullet a year ago. I came into a little bit of money and I was kind of like, right, I want something to show for this. So I in 1976 there was a company called Shepperton Studios. They were basically contracted to make the molds and the armor for the stormtroopers and the extras for A New Hope, and that's why I bought it off. They still make them today. You can get them, so it's cast from the same molds that made the ones from A New Hope. And funny story, you can actually tell because on the bicep part, there's this little divot that looks like a thumbprint. And the story goes that the guy who was making the molds, which were used to cast these plastic pieces, his thumb got stuck into one of the molds. So that is now present on every single one of these bicep pieces. So like that's how you know crazy. If you have a it's insane. I was only told that the other day. Someone pointed out, going, "Did you know what this is?" And obviously I've joined the 501st now. One of the 501st guys were like, "Yeah, when you're getting dressed and you put on your bicep piece, thumbprint in." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he pointed out to me. Sure enough, 2 bloody thumbprints. So
that's
crazy
story.
That all stemmed from. Literally, it's strange the way what happened today. Obviously, we got some terrible news today, but I still remember that episode going, that would be awesome. But like
100%.
Yeah. So,
now, do you have a mannequin that you can put this on when you're not wearing it? Like, how do you
no,
display
I don't. I've got this huge home base storage box, and one of my friends, Keith, the 6-scale Padawan, you've probably seen him in chats and stuff like this. He's Irish as well. He's actually in the process of getting a scout trooper and joining the 501st. He sent me this YouTube clip about this guy called the Odd Viking, and he shows how you can take these normal big storage boxes and customize them and weather them and put light up features to make them look like they're from the Star Wars universe.
That's
so
cool.
that's what I'm going to do.
Nice.
So no, I don't put on a mannequin. I don't really have the space to put it on a mannequin,
fair.
but yeah, maybe in the future, something like that. But yeah, it's I'm
Because
really
I think
happy.
of like Austin Nicholas, right? He's got his Darth Maul behind him in his display. Like I could see, like if you had space, even having that stormtrooper somewhere in the back over your left shoulder, maybe at some point. I don't know what the space looks like in there, but it could be really cool, especially considering that's your YouTube channel logo as well as a trooper, right? So
You know what? The funny thing is, this is a standard trooper, but the YouTube logo, it's basically the Stormtrooper Commander. And I was looking on Etsy, you can get those orange pauldrons for like $50. And the blaster, which is actually my favorite blaster in the Star Wars universe, is the E22, which comes with the Shore Troopers and the Stormtrooper Commander. So that's happening. That is absolutely happening. And I get a Grogu, then I recreate that in live action.
I feel like very obviously the biggest L at Halloween with this costume is how do you pee in this thing once you're in it?
Dude, you were
what I'm
speaking
saying?
my language. Well, you cut off all fluids from 8 p.m. the night before.
That's fair.
And you know, that's a great question because, say, if you're doing this for the whole day, you're going to have to de-kit at some stage. Typically, if you go to a troop, you have a backroom area where you can kit up. And it's not uncommon for people to do 2 hours in the suit, de-kit, get some food, go to the bathroom, and then re-kit. But like one of the first things I did was I ditched the morph suit that comes with it. It's very thin. It's like a onesie. It's one size fits all. So some parts are really tight and some parts are a bit loose. So I got like a cheap kind of ski base layer, like an Under Armour for like €7. The bottoms and top, and it's actually a lot more comfortable. It's the fabric is nicer, it's more fitted, the panels go on better, and also it's separate. So if you do have to go to the bathroom, at least you can de-kit the top half or something like that.
I could just imagine, you in a stall trying to derobe yourself so you can take one.
No,
like,
you need that.
in
You need that
stormtrooper
background.
gear. Like,
Yeah,
you hate
yeah.
to see it.
You need that back print.
That's awesome.
The back room. But this is the thing, you can't sit down in it. This is why
No, yeah.
Scout Troopers are nearly a better kit. Or I'm just looking at the Shore Trooper Squad Leader, Shore Trooper Grunt, because they have fabric basically from, say, the waist down to the knees. You can sit down.
That's interesting. Well, good to know if anybody out there is looking to customize your own stormtrooper gear at some point, or shore trooper, any of those things. Definitely poke Shane. I know your channel is dedicated to 1/6 for the most part, but it would be pretty cool to know a little bit more about how you constructed this. I know some people like Shiny in the chat looking to see that thumbprint that you mentioned. There's some content there maybe to be had. So
I'll go fetch the bicep part, and I'll be back in 2 minutes, and you might be able to see it on camera then, hopefully.
For sure.
Ben,
Now, most of you...
I just
Sorry.
sent you some
Did you?
some
Okay.
photos.
I'll pull it up here in just a moment there, good sir. Thank you for sending those. Most of you guys know I'm a pretty big Batman nerd. I've been a Batman fan for as long as I can literally remember. My mom sent me this the other day, which made me laugh because I was like, clearly I'm wearing pretty much the same outfit even as an adult 30 years later. But this unlocked a core memory for me, and that memory was having to wear my freaking winter jacket over top of my costume and losing my absolute mind because, as you guys know, Batman doesn't wear a winter jacket when he's outside fighting crime. So why the hell would I? Except that I lived in, southwestern Ontario, where you're absolutely buried in snow by the time October 31st comes along. And that's just the way it goes. So you can actually see my jacket wrapped around my waist here while I'm getting this photo of myself in Batman gear.
Now, Ben, is that you on the right, really?
That's me on the right, yep.
So I'm just wondering, are you wearing lipstick?
I'm not.
Because your lips are really, really red, man.
I didn't even notice that.
Maybe he was drinking Hawaiian Punch or something.
Hawaiian Punch, for sure. But my love of Batman has been consistent because even all these years later, before I started doing the job that I worked at now, I actually worked at a call center for the bank for years. And so the photo on the left was actually a professional photographer. She was walking around the call center taking photos, and I was mid-call renewing somebody's mortgage when this picture on the left was shot of me.
That's a great photo.
It's a cool picture, right? I think
That's
I've got,
a really
I've got
great
the
photo.
chin structure to be Batman and the lips potentially.
Look at your shaved head.
I know, right?
That's the real.
Yeah,
No
no,
one
no,
notices the shaved
no
head.
hair. And then me on the right, I think in this picture of me, Cat in the Hat picture, I think, God, that had to have been probably 19 in that photo, maybe 20. But pretty young. Back then, I could only grow facial hair like Master Splinter. It wasn't very good. So
Also,
it's
that's Justin
coming
Bieber
quite
on the
good.
right. In case
That's
anybody
definitely
was
not Justin
wondering.
Bieber.
I
It's
don't know,
Cat in
man.
the
That's pretty
Hat.
close. He's Canadian too, bro.
Actually, which is funny because this photo is the Cat in the Hat photo is taken in London, Ontario, which is only about 30 minutes away from where Justin Bieber grew up in Strathmore, Ontario, I believe it's called, or yeah, Strathmore. So yeah, I mean, it could have been. It could have been. Let's see here. Let's pull up Shane so we can look at the thumbprint. I'm going to full screen you here, buddy. Oh, you're muted.
You're mute.
Sorry, I have had one beer. These are the bicep parts, and obviously the funny thing is, I went and I just grabbed the first one, thinking, it's probably on both of them, but it wouldn't make sense if it's on both of them. He's not going to make the same mistake twice. So there's little dots in here. This one is red, so that means the right, and it doesn't have a thumbprint. You can see it's just there's nothing on it there. It just looks like normal plastic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at this one here, it's kind of subtle, but you can see like a thumbprint
like an
here.
indent.
So there's a
Oh,
little
wow.
divot here. So it's probably, is it coming across
Yeah,
there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
there
see it
it
there
is.
now. Yeah.
So it's not, it's on this is the right one, red right. Yeah, this is the left one. So it's only on the left one. So whatever way I don't know how the process works, but I think the story goes when he was making the mold, there's a thumbprint in the mold itself. So then all the parts come off. So yeah, so that's it.
That's really
the
cool,
thing.
dude.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, dude. That's awesome. But yeah, so that's most of the Halloween costumes we got here. I will pull up Thomas's at the end just while I'm in other conversations here, because it's hard for me to pull it up and talk and all the things at the same time, and I don't want too much delay in the show, but I will pull them up here at the end for Classy Thomas. Let's move on though, guys, because this news came up yesterday. Now, my goal for this is to be as respectful as possible. I do not want to speculate as to the reason or how or any of the ways that he passed away. Obviously, we know some of the story. Those details still remain to be seen for the remainder. But what I really wanted to highlight was just the impact, obviously, Matthew Perry had on our lives as both like entertainment fans. I feel like the world has lost a funny person, but also somebody that was caring, and also somebody that was vulnerable, somebody that shared a lot of the struggles that he personally went through in his life. And that was a standout. Not a lot of people will talk about the hard parts of their life. A lot of people cover that up, and I think that that's sad. So I put together a quick little clip, and then we'll go around quick and chat a little bit about Matthew Perry here. So hang tight.
I just want to say, hey. She's on the other line. She's going to call me back. She's on the other line. She's going to call me back. She's on the other line. Going to call me back.
Don't you have to pee?
Why I'm dancing.
Remember the class play? You pulled up my skirt and the entire auditorium saw my underpants.
Yes, back then I used humor as a defense mechanism. Thank God I don't do that anymore.
Right. Why don't you give me your underpants? Oh, no. Can't help you. I'm not wearing any. How can you not be wearing any underwear? Oh, I'm getting heat from the guy in the hot pink thong.
I say always keep them running. All the time running. Run. Run. Run, Yasmin. Run like the wind. All right, somebody kiss me. Somebody kiss me. It's midnight. Somebody kiss me. It's midnight. It's one time.
I guess this is it. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. Take care.
Yeah.
So obviously, I could have pulled 1,000 clips from Matthew Perry's time, both in Friends, but also just in the rest of his career, because that wasn't his only role, obviously, but certainly his most iconic. Very, very sad news. There's not many, I think, deaths in the world that hit me as hard as some of them do. Robin Williams was one of them. This one got me last night. I was really sad to hear this news. So, quick kind of roundtable. I know, Shane, you mentioned a little bit about part of your passion for getting the Stormtrooper outfit from Friends, which I think is interesting. But did you have any other experiences kind of watching Matthew Perry in his life, or anything you wanted to share just with regards to him?
Obviously, you know, rest in peace. 54. It's very young. It's very young. Like there's 8 billion people in the world, and how many of them like know what Friends is? I'd say like the vast majority of people have seen an episode of Friends at least in some stage of their life. There was a time here in Ireland, even long after it finished, there was things called, it was not Channel 4, there was a More 4, E4 I think that channel was, and they played Friends on loop, and when they'd finish it, they chronologically start at the start, and it was just constantly on no matter what channel you turn on. So like it's like, look, it's you know, Friends, it's that type of thing, like, you know, obviously if I was to name my favorite TV shows, it's not going to be on the list, but the function of Friends really was that light-hearted comfort watching, just get a giggle in 20 minutes or something like that. And like I think the vast majority of the people in the world who've seen this have definitely laughed because of his character and because of his humor and the way he portrayed the character at some point or another. Like, so yeah, and you know what, it kind of, this makes me want to go back and just watch him again.
Totally.
It's a comfort watching, definitely. It definitely a lot of time spent with family and friends. I think that's
for sure.
That's
the whole 9 yards I remember being a really funny movie when I was younger too. I really liked that one. But yeah, you know, I think you mentioned something to me on private chat earlier, Shane, too, that stuck with me a little as well. You know, none of us are getting any younger, obviously, right? And Matthew Perry, I think, was only 55 when he passed away yesterday. That's only 20 years older than me. I know it's only a handful of years older than some of our community, some of you in our panelists potentially. And like, I think that shows that life can be significantly too short. So definitely, you know, take advantage of every day. I've been having a hard time mentally lately. I've gone through breakups and hard life stuff. But there's a good reason to show up every day and smile and find ways to connect with your friends and your family and the people that you love when you can, because time on this planet can potentially be very, very short. What do you think, Eddie, either of the montage or just kind of this news? Did it hit you in any way?
Yeah, it was shocking for sure. I didn't grow up watching Friends too much. I was a little bit younger when Friends was super popular. Obviously, as a kid, I knew it. But a pretty big movie that I would watch a lot as a kid, because my mom loved it, was Fool's Russian. And, you know, Matthew Perry, he's the main guy in that movie. And so, like, that was pretty big movie for me. And so that's immediately what I think of when I think of Matthew Perry. And then, obviously, the whole 9 yards, too. And then, as I got older, I watched Friends more, and people that are in my life like love Friends and things like that, so I've seen it here and there. And obviously iconic role and iconic TV show, and that's obviously what he's most known for, is Friends. And so it's crazy. I think a lot of people were affected just by that one TV show. That's even if it's not in my top, like Shane said, like it's not in my top favorite shows of all time, it's like it's a very predominant show for pop culture and like TV history, you know? So it's crazy and shocking for sure to hear. And yeah, he wasn't that old. His 50s. It's pretty young still, you know? So it's crazy. It's sad to see. He just wrote a book, right? A couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. So that immediately I was like, wow, now I feel like I want to read his book, you know, just to see what he was thinking and going through in his life right before the end. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's shocking.
I know he detailed a lot in that book as well, because I saw some of his videos on it, just about some of his struggles with addiction and you know, how he overcame that, and some of the support systems that he had, and some of his close calls with death in the past, and all of it. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's also, again, like for me, I appreciate that somebody was willing to kind of share that side of their dark history and dark past, because, you know, you see celebrities up there, and celebrities feel untouchable sometimes to us, right? As regular Joes. And everybody's human on the inside. Everybody struggles. And also can have an enormous impact on the world. You never know who out there you're going to touch. I've even thought about even that with like this very show. You know, like somebody one day may see this show and it might bring some happiness to their day that they never even knew existed, but they just might need it. A laugh talking about getting nuts and all these things, right? You just never know the impact you can have on people. So what about you, Jose? I know you're a big film fan, a big TV fan, entertainment news guy. What were your take on this?
Man, it was tough for sure. Shocking, unexpected. He was so young, and I feel like it kind of hit hard because I grew up watching the show, and Chandler's one of my favorite characters, and just the way that he carried himself on the show, with his, he was. It's hard to explain, but he was just. I understood him, I understood the character, and it's tough. It's tough to know that he's no longer with us, right? And these things with celebrity deaths, it can get complicated because it's like we don't know these people, right? We don't know them. We've never met them, but they've impacted our lives, in some way, shape, or form. So, it's like sometimes people will say, "Hey, well, why is it affecting you so much? You never even knew the guy." But in a way, it's like when you allow them to come into your home through the screen, right? And you're with them. In a way, it feels like, and that can be, there's people that can get a little too attached, right? But it, you feel like you form some sort of relationship with these characters, and it's like them. So it's like when you lose someone, you mourn them, and it's tough, for sure.
Absolutely, dude. Well said. Well said. And I mean, I don't want to bring the mood down. I know it's a sad topic to chat about this, right? But I think it's worthy of it because, again, it's easy to have a laugh. It's hard to talk about sometimes the hard stuff and the way things hit people. I remember even when Kevin Conroy passed away last year, the voice of Batman. I didn't realize just how much that person has been present in my life over time. And, I look at, Shiny's comment here, says, we grew up watching Friends in our house, felt like the cast would be together forever somehow. Apparently he had helped a lot of people with their addictions, turned his mansion into a recovery clinic. Like, those are the things that are important for us, I think, just as fans, but also people within the world to highlight the importance of. I think, did I get everybody? I think so. Thomas, did I get you there, buddy? Thomas, what were your thoughts on this news, buddy?
Yeah, I was really sad and surprised, but not surprised. And that may make more sense given context. And it's not even due to the fact that he had struggled with addiction. When people are struggling with addiction, it does have a serious impact on your body. So there could have been complications. Who knows what could have happened? But the reason why it kind of hit home was when they said his age was 54. And I was like, wow, that hit home for me. Because 9 years ago, that would have been me. I would have been dead if I had not had medical intervention or if I had refused it. I wouldn't be here. And I'm just fortunate to still be here. And it's just unfortunate because it seems like he was kind of working his way back in. I've seen him on talk shows promoting his book. And also in speaking with him, just seeing his natural sense of humor. This guy was legit funny. There are some people who are funny when they're scripted funny, but this guy just had a natural sense of humor that I think people could relate to. And to me, on Friends, I really believe, even though it was an ensemble cast, to me, the standout star was him, and I really think in many ways he kind of carried the show. Mm-hmm. Now, that's just my opinion. I can't really... There may be other favorites out there, and I think that they all contributed greatly to the show. But I think that, to me, he was one of the standout stars. So, yeah, it's a great loss for everyone. I wish that he were still here so we could see what the next phase of his life would have been. Mm-hmm. But, they say that the greatest people in the world that you'll find are in the grave, because you have all this potential and you never got a chance to see what they would have become. Mm-hmm. So I'm very sad for him and his family, and I'm hoping that people will just take the time to remember him fondly. No matter what a person goes through,
of course,
no matter what a person does in their life, if they have brought you joy, live in that joy. Don't focus on anything that was hurtful or harmful. Just allow yourself to say, wow, this person brought me great enjoyment, and I'm glad I got a chance to experience him. So that's where I stand on it. But I think he's definitely going to be missed.
Absolutely. Classy Thomas, classy as always. Well said. Well said, everybody. Thank you for your respectful thoughts on that. Thanks for sticking with us in the chat, guys, while we, changed the mood for a couple minutes there, chatting about that, but I think that was important to address. One thing that Shane had sent me today was a screenshot of the Instagram, Instagram channel or Instagram account, the _collectors_outpost_. Check him out. I did not ask permission to use this slide, but he did post here that FYI, in case you didn't know, Matthew Perry was one of us. And this is a picture of his Batman collection setup. And I gotta say, that is classy. That looks real nice. It's cool to see that, just like all of us, we're all human. We all have things that we think are cool. Doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or not. He's a Batman fan. So am I. I feel like that's, even just that is cool, that we all share that passion for sure.
Mostly the Dark Knight.
Mostly the Dark Knight.
Yeah. He talked about it on a late night show. Someone asked him about it, and he talked about how he had a whole Batman room just one day. He's like, just one day I was like, I really like Batman, so I just started buying all this Batman stuff. So.
That's cool. That's real cool. Now, while you guys were chatting, I started smiling there a little bit because let's change the mood back again before we talk a little bit about some figure news and so a little bit more entertainment news. Classy Thomas sent me his Halloween photos, and I gotta say, dude, like, you dress up pretty nicely. I gotta say, you and your colored glasses on the left here, pretty sweet. Is this the lion from Wizard of Oz on the right?
No, actually, what it was is that I had gone to the Halloween store and bought some of that makeup, and I just had a whole bunch of cat stuff around. I had some cat ears and everything like that, and I had that freaky dreadlock looking thing, so I just decided to dress up as a cat and went into the office, painted my nails black and everything like that. So that was just me, and of course that picture is me much younger. And the one on the left, the werewolf, that was me. I made that costume actually.
Oh, nice.
And I was going.
You look ripped in it, honestly. I'm not.
I know. Yeah, that was the only time you're going to see me with abs. But I kind of went as, I called that Teen Wolf. I was kind of saying, I think I'm going to be a teen wolf. And I had some better pictures, but this one where you got a chance to see the full thing. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And that t-shirt, I love these little statement t-shirts. My sister sent me that because she knew that I was a little bit out of shape, and so she saw this t-shirt with the big gut saying, personal trainer. I said, I'm wearing that to the office one day.
That's amazing.
So I wore that.
I thought the jeans were connected. I thought the shirt was ripped at first. I didn't realize it was a picture of jeans and a gut. They match almost perfectly to that set of jeans. That's impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very cool. I love the Teen Wolf though. That made me like literally laugh while you guys were sharing your lovely stories, and I'm like, oh man, that's not going to look very sensitive in the back here. But and then this one, very, very cool. I can tell it's you, but like, tell us about this one as well, Thomas.
Yeah, that one. Me, I kind of was trying to go back to the 70s, and me and my friend Shavara. She went as Angela Davis. We both went as a couple of people for the revolution. So if she wanted to free Angela Davis, I was just having the power to the people. And I had my little iPod, iPod with a little tiny speaker going around. I was playing a bunch of funk from the 70s and everything like that as we walked around campus. So yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Very
I don't
cool.
know. I don't know why I put the buck teeth in there. I know why. I was trying to find a set of teeth that kind of had like a grill in it, but I couldn't. But then I said, well, no, the grill really wasn't for the '70s. So I said, well,
Yeah.
but I wanted to wear some teeth, so I had some big teeth, and I said, well, okay, I'll just be a real big tooth brother right
Very,
there. So.
very cute. Is that a real tattoo on your arm, or was that for the sake of the
Oh
costume?
no, that was for the sake of the costume. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
We have another special guest that just arrived all the way from England itself. Mr. Pete from Only Fools and Collecting. Good to see you, buddy.
Pete, what's
Happy to have
up?
you back. Heck yeah, dude.
Hey,
Good
guys.
to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back. It has been a while.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
to see,
How's things been going for you?
Everybody here? Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yep. Yeah, I couldn't find any photos, unfortunately. I definitely had some from when I was a kid, but they seem to have disappeared off my phone, so I didn't manage to
They
find them, unfortunately.
mysteriously disappeared.
Somehow disappeared on the phone. Yes.
yeah.
Well, if you ever find them, you let us know, and I'll add them to the next
Oh,
show. It doesn't have to be a Halloween
absolutely.
episode to see Pete in costume, let's be honest. So
Fair enough.
That's
yeah,
awesome,
I'll
buddy.
see what I can do.
Awesome. Well, good to have you here. Thanks for joining in. We've got a very full panel. We
Yeah.
got a little bit more entertainment news that I really want to quickly talk about, guys, and then let's talk some figures because we've got some third party and hot toys to chat about as well today.
Oh Ben, did you see the other picture?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think I only saw those.
Oh, you didn't see the
more?
Frankenfurter.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't
there was
see the
one more I
Frankenfurter.
put in there.
Ah,
My
I
bad.
need to see that.
I'll pull that one up here in a couple minutes then for sure. Who wants to see the Frankenfurter? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Guys, I've been binging television lately because I'm single and I've got nothing to do. So I've been watching a lot of shit in the evenings. And I've had a couple of interesting experiences lately. You ever have that feeling where like people are like, oh, you have to watch the show. It's so good and all of these things. And then you go to watch the show and you're kind of like lukewarm on it.
Yeah.
This is not one of those for me.
Oh.
This show has been great. I've been loving the show. Were you were gonna think I was
gonna say
throwing
I'm
you off.
lukewarm on it too, man.
You're lukewarm on it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
I'm
funny.
lukewarm on it.
I've been really enjoying it, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy the show as much as I have. Some of the violence is pretty great, but just some of the core story beats I think are pretty cool. Considering they're all, for the most part, actors I've never seen before, I think the show does actually a pretty good job of making you care about them. And it does really feel like it's the universe of The Boys. I think if you've been on the fence with it, don't listen to Eddie. Listen to me. Definitely watch this show. I think I think you might enjoy it. Some of the stuff in it, again, is just a little outrageous, and I don't even want to say what context these screenshots are in. But again, the cast of characters are pretty unique. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son is also in this show, which is interesting, but not for a crazy long time. So, if you haven't watched it, give it at least a chance. Watch the first, I think, 3 episodes. If it doesn't have you hooked, you probably won't love it. But for me, I was hooked, and now I am excited for every Thursday of every week.
Isn't there only 4 episodes?
There's 5 episodes now, I think.
All right. So
there's
if you're watching the first 3, you're still committing to 60%, Ben.
Watch 60% of the show and then tell me if you like it or not.
It's not as if there's like 3 and there's like 10.
That's true. Fair enough.
That's like there's an old
It
joke.
was a-
Do you hear about the Irishman who swam to America? He got 3/4 of the way and he swam back because he got tired. That's
right.
That's right. Sorry, anyway, I'll stop.
Yeah, it was a bigger request than I expected. Watch 60% of the show and let me know next week and Let's Get Nuts if you guys like it, okay? The other show I wanted to highlight was...
the picture on the right. It's got like a puppet section, is it? Like a Muppet.
It's an incredibly violent, the most violent puppet deaths I've ever seen in my entire life. That's all I'm going to say.
Cool.
But it is wonderful to watch.
Even
It's
more
eye
than
candy.
Even more than Team America.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Definitely. A little bit different, but yeah, I think so. This is another show that I've been excited to watch, and I finally finished the 3rd season of it, and I've absolutely loved it. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's basically, without me spoiling anything, the whole context, at least of the first season and the kind of the evolution of the show is if the Russians won the space race to the moon over the Americans, what then would have happened to world history as a result? Because, of course, the Americans not being the first to the moon would then want to be first to the next benchmark. And what does that benchmark look like? And then from there, on and on and on. Some of the cast are fantastic. I love Joel Kinnaman just as an actor. He's been in some notable stuff, including, the Suicide Squad. He was also RoboCop and the reboot of RoboCop. Decent stuff, but I would say for me, this is absolutely his standout performance. He's fantastic.
That doesn't even look like him.
But and this is him aged up a little bit on purpose. So this is a screenshot of the 3rd season, but still, it's really good. What I think I like about it most is that so many shows nowadays, especially like Marvel content, for example, they're giving us like 6 to 10 episodes. It doesn't have enough time to let you actually learn who the characters are, what their motivations are, how they connect to each other, what the impact of their choices is on the world and around them, and all of, because it's 6 episodes. You get, there's your content, and then the show is over. This show does a really good job of giving you the details of everybody, who they connect, and then kind of taking you through their life together over the 3 seasons that I've seen so far. And the 4th season, I believe, starts November 10th of this year. Yep. And I got to say, it's now, I think, my most anticipated show of the year for the remainder of the year. I absolutely loved it. But guys, I wanted to ask you guys, has there been any TV shows that you've seen lately that you got to tell the chat about that I didn't have on my list today? Shane, I'll start with you, buddy.
First of all, this would have been my one if you hadn't mentioned it. This is fantastic TV. Bloody good writing, great characters that you care about because of the writing. And you know what? This show does inclusion perfectly. It's just, I can't even explain that. You just have to watch it and you'll be like, yeah, I know what he's talking about now. There's something for everyone here. It is fantastic. Can't recommend this show enough. Really looking forward to November 10th. Gen V, I watched the first episode. I haven't got back to it, but yeah, that's pretty good as well. I would recommend, it's an older TV show, but just when you said Joel Kinnaman, the first time I saw Joel Kinnaman was on a TV show called The Killing. Where he plays a detective, but he's also an addict as well. So he's trying to hide that while trying to maintain his job. Very, very well done.
That's good.
TV that blew my mind recently, 1883, 1923. I think I've got those dates right. I have had 2 beers. And Yellowstone. Like, the hype is real. Again, writing, characters, acting, execution, fantastic. If you just do yourself a favor and just watch them, they're just really, really good.
Heck yeah, dude. I have been putting off Yellowstone, and I don't know why. I feel like it's kind of like what I said earlier. Everybody's told me how good it is. It's got such a boring, title for me as a show, though, that I'm kind of just like, meh. I feel like I'll like it, but I don't want to give it a chance. How weird is that?
You watch 1 or 2 episodes and you get introduced to
I'll watch 60% of the show, and then I'll let you know if it's good or not.
You get introduced to Beth Dutton and you won't look back.
That's fair. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure she's a lovely lady. You'll know. Pete, have you been binging anything lately that you think everybody should know about?
Yes, there's a show. And it's difficult because I know that Netflix isn't the same, country to country. But there's if it's on your versions, there's a show called Bodies that it's based on a comic book, and it's like a time travel kind of murder mystery thing. Really good. I think it's 8 episodes. I kind of watched that over 4 or 5 days. Yeah, really good. But I say I don't. You'd have to see if it's on in Canada or US. But it dropped in the UK about a week and a half ago. But yeah, it's really good.
Bodies.
It's set across 4 timelines. 1 body, 4 timelines. So there's like a Victorian England, and then 1 in the 40s, 1 in this year, and then 1 30 years in the future.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'll check that out.
Recommendation.
Bodies, if anybody hasn't heard of it, let us know. Empire Strike says The Continental. I started watching this, but I started it at 2 o'clock in the morning and ended up falling asleep, which doesn't happen to me very often. So I need to revisit it, I think, at an earlier time of day.
That's called pulling a Mario, I believe.
Pulling a Mario.
Mario, if you're watching in the replay.
Where's it streaming, the Continental? Is that on
I believe it's Peacock.
Peacock, okay.
Cool. Jose, what have you been watching lately, buddy, that you think people should know about if they may have already missed it?
You know what? I've been watching too many horror movies. I haven't been watching any other shows other than Gen V, but I think I'm like 2 episodes behind. I think I saw like the first 2 or 3 episodes. I don't know how many episodes have been out, but I've only seen the first few. I like it so far, but I'm not crazy about it like Eddie. So I'm kind of like, I'm just, okay, let's see.
Going with the flow. What horror movie then should people watch? If any standouts for you this past week?
If someone was gonna watch because we only got a couple hours on Halloween, right? Like if someone was gonna watch 1 to 2 horror movies, what would you recommend?
Wow, I mean,
Exorcist.
That's one. If you want to be scared, the original Exorcist is definitely one you can go to. The original Halloween, 1978, that was another one that I would recommend, just to watch that one. It's like
Oh, he got assassinated mid sentence. You hate to see it. That's fair. Eddie, what have you been watching recently? We'll bring Jose back in. What's that?
Michael Myers got him.
Michael Myers got
Eddie's too freaked out to speak now. Eddie's
it's like the Soprano scene at the end. It just goes black screen. Eddie, what have you been watching lately, buddy?
I've been watching a lot of old shows, reruns, so that's normally what I watch. But I actually did start a new show a while ago because I thought it was brand new, and I guess it is. It's called Servant. It's on Apple Plus. I thought it had just come out, but it's already 4 seasons in, and the 4th season came out at the beginning of this year. It's called Servant. It's written by many different writers, but it's mainly written by M. Night Shyamalan. I always say his name like that. No offense to people. M. Night and his daughter.
Canceled.
And that's why I started watching it, because I love, I'm not a big horror guy, but I love his sort of directing / film style, like thriller more. If I'm a horror guy, it's more thriller than horror. And it's definitely held up to that kind of style that he has. It's about a family that recently had a child, and they hire a nanny, and it goes off the rails. It's just very drama, thriller, and psychological, and it goes down this crazy path. It's crazy, but I really love it. I've only seen the first season so far, so I got to watch season 2 through 4, but it's really, really good. So I definitely recommend
Eddie,
that.
have you seen the movie Prisoners?
No, actually, I haven't seen.
Well, if you're talking about a horror movie that's more leans towards thriller, give that a watch.
All right, cool.
Give that a watch.
One with
Hugh Jackman,
and
Gyllenhaal,
that's great. That one.
Oh,
that's an intense. And your man who plays the Riddler.
Is it the guy that? Yeah, I was gonna say the guy that played the Riddler in Batman.
No singing
though.
No singing.
Movie.
Oh, okay, the new Riddler.
And did you said you really enjoyed One Piece as well on Netflix, right, Eddie?
Oh yeah, I guess that was recently. That was really good. For someone that, I would definitely recommend that for people that haven't seen the anime yet. Not that if you have seen it, you can't watch the live action, but I feel like it'll give you might enjoy it more, and it'll give you more of want to watch the anime, because the anime is 1,000 episodes or something, but it is really good. And from what I'm hearing, it's the most well-received live-action anime so far. So
it is. It's amazing. Jose, I'm glad you didn't get taken out by Michael Myers. You just suddenly went black screen mid-sentence, like Sopranos. So you hate to see
sorry,
it.
guys. Yeah, they just said lost connection. I'm like, what?
All good. All good.
Sorry about that.
Classy Thomas, anything that's a standout before we get into the figure news?
I haven't been watching a lot of TV shows, and I did, of course, watch the One Piece, and excellent. Another program, I saw the first season, but I watched The White Lotus, and that is a really interesting show. And I mainly watched it because of Jennifer Coolidge in it, and I just love Stifler's mom. I'm sorry, she's just amazing.
Stifler's mom's got it going
and that show is crazy. It really is. So I'm kind of looking for. I saw season 1. I'm looking forward to checking out season 2. But I kind of put the TV series on hold because several stations are running just Halloween movies. So I've been just watching Halloween movies this month. But however, I will say, because I remember, and I think it might have been Jose had mentioned about or no, I'm sorry. I think it was you, Shane, where you were talking about how it's these 6 episode things that, of course, that Marvel had been doing is just not working. I think everybody agrees with that. But in Marvel news, I actually had seen a report that they're actually revamping the TV series, and they're going to start treating them like actual television shows, where they're going to have a show. They're going to have a showrunner. They're going to do more than these 6 episode things, which is the thing I have been begging that they would do forever. So, because I could tell, I said, they're trying to treat these like little mini movies, and they're not. They're television shows, and they need to be treated differently. They need to be written differently. They need to be expanded differently. I mean, you treat the characters in a different way. So, than you would if it were a feature, because you really could put those TV shows together and just make a really long movie. And I think that's the reason why those things just didn't work or go over well with the audiences.
Well, in fact, some people have done that, right, Thomas? Well, like for example, the Boba Fett show. There's like a fan edit out there that's like a cut of all the episodes, kind of put together at like long movie, and it actually ended up being like hailed as like better than the show itself because they kind of cut out some of the fat and just made it a little bit more consolidated. And I think that's kind of interesting, right? But
for the Kenobi show as well.
Yeah, that's right. Like. So hopefully you're right, Thomas, that expands, because again, like after watching shows like it's on the tip of my tongue, For All Mankind, that has just blown me away in terms of how much I care about the characters and the content, and it's relatively like a slower show. Like there's drama that happens, and there's danger, and all of that, but it's still like it's slow paced. It gives you time to know these people, and I really like that. But
it's the writing is chalk
the writing
and cheese.
is just it's so good. It's so
like
good.
It's like to compare the writing on For All Mankind to I think anything Disney Plus have done.
Yeah, it's not
they're different leagues. Like
not there. I have been enjoying the season 2 of Loki though so far. I will say that wasn't part of my slides today, but that has been fun. Did anybody ever like this RoboCop film, or really is this the RoboCop that still stands out? Keep in mind, obviously, RoboCop 3, not necessarily.
Yeah, the guys have been picking on me because I've only seen the reboot.
Me too. You've only seen the reboot? Oh my god. Okay. Well, homework for next Let's Get Nuts is watch RoboCop 1.
Did you like it, Jose?
I'm surprised you haven't been assassinated again.
The reboot?
Yeah, did you like the reboot?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, same thing, lukewarm, like whatever.
Yeah. It's not a reboot for you guys because you've never seen the original.
Yeah, that's true.
This is in their original.
First RoboCop film is one of the most traumatizing, violent things I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, no
absolutely.
doubt.
And it made you like, it wasn't just violence for the sake of violence. The whole point, I think, was to make you feel empathy for this guy, and you absolutely do. It's oh god, just
and it's
watch
it's so quotable as well.
You know why I
so
think I
many
never
great lines in it.
I never watched it mainly because my mom didn't show it to me, but I think also
you have a good mom.
Wow.
She didn't let you dress up as Ghostface, and she didn't let you watch this absolute violent mess. That's good.
She's very strict, so you can see why I am the way I am. So for me, RoboCop always seemed like a knockoff Terminator. And I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. Like, he's not Terminator.
They're so different.
So different. So different.
Yeah.
So different.
How he gets like this is more important even than this. Like,
also, Red Foreman is a crazy bad guy. I can't remember the
name.
Bobby. He's a terrifying bad guy. I will say.
Oh dang!
100%.
It's got a real
100%.
It's got a real gritty kind of low budget feel to it as well, which I like.
It does.
Scary man.
Would you say the origin story is different than the reboot?
The origin story is executed more. It's executed better because it's so violent, and you feel so scared for him. And it's like I remember watching it I was watching it way too young. Let's be honest, but I felt like I was in his shoes It kind of it the way they did it, it kind of it opened my eyes to do bad people in real life actually do things like this to people? And unfortunately the answer is yes. Like you really you fear for him, you feel sorry for him, you feel his loneliness in that moment where you know he's not getting out of this. Like it's
it's worth the watch, Eddie. It's worth the watch, and it really doesn't feel like Terminator. Like once you see it, you'll see why. I think it's a very, very, very different storyline. But guys, we still have just under 30 people here watching live. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We're gonna get into some figure news now, but if you can hit the like button if you've forgotten, it definitely appreciates getting some traction on the video. For all the people who don't even know that it's back today, it would definitely be appreciated if you have not done already. Now, some of the news we'll chat about here. Again, we've been gone for a month, so I haven't got to talk about some of these things. So I just picked some of the things that out there that I think are really cool, because it's the Ben Thomas Show. We talk about shit that I think is cool here, and you guys just join me for the ride, which I appreciate. Biff Tannen, which I don't think he's actually called Biff Tannen as a third-party offering here, but this is obviously Biff Tannen from Mars Toys that's coming, and this has been something that collectors have been asking for quite a while, because, you know, a lot of us out there have those Hot Toys Doc and Marty figures. The DeLorean now exists in both version 1 and version 2. The third DeLorean looks like it's going to come at some point with the red wheels and all of that. And we have also seen the third Western version of Marty and Doc. But Biff is a consistent character in every single movie, whether it's Biff or if it's Griff. Doesn't matter. It's clearly the same dude. So I was really excited to see this. Now, I would say for me, of the three outfits here, either this version or the version in like the gray or like the beige jumpsuit, I think it's probably my two favorites. But I don't know quite yet if I want to pre-order it. I may have even missed my window for it. I'm not sure. Like, you can always find these on the aftermarket as well. I would say that, like, it's definitely a likeness to Biff Tannen and the actor, but I wouldn't say that it's perfect by any stretch. I do think Mars Toys has had better offerings in the past. Pete, what are your thoughts on Biff here? And is this something you'd consider throwing in the collection?
Yeah, he's called the School Badass.
The School Badass. Thanks for checking.
Name of the character. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we talked about him on OFAC the other week, and I think Thomas and I both agreed that the likeness is not there.
It's not quite there.
I like what they're doing, and the fact that you basically get three outfits. They are selling that body on its own as well, although I don't think there's anything particularly special about it, to be honest. So I think, it's one of those things where the outfits are kind of quite generic for, someone in the 1950s, I suppose. And it's a shame. I mean, certainly that one on the left. It's one of those things where if you take it out of context and you show that head sculpt to somebody, would they know who it is? Possibly on the right, but in terms of Mars Toys and the kind of the stuff they've had out recently and teased, I think this is quite low down for their likenesses. So I think if they can improve the likeness, it's not a bad. I think it's like £140 or something. So it's fairly cheap for what you get.
Sounds really heavy.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't pick him up because I've got Doc and Marty. That'll do me. But I think it'd be nice if they can tighten up that likeness a bit. I think.
Definitely. Shiny Shiny says here, I hear Jazz Inc. Are making Biff's car and they're using genuine animal crap. Oh, I'd hope so, because I mean, he seems just like a target for those trucks, right? He hates me.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he does.
Shane, when I think about Back to the Future, it's a very iconic film franchise, and I know like you're not the craziest Back to the Future fan that exists out there, but what are your thoughts on Biff? And if you could have a different character, would there be any other character from that film series that you would want more? Or do you think Biff is really the only third option to go with the Doc and Marty figures? What do you think?
No, I think Biff is probably who they should be looking to make. Like, he's the kind of antagonist, really, isn't he? But I don't think they've hit the mark on this. I mean, in a lot of ways, Hot Toys, Mars Toys, InArt, these 6 scale companies, they're kind of like they're kind of like athletes in a way. If you look at, say, an Olympian, or you look at a soccer player, a basketball player, and you look at their best game, right? And then if they perform under that, then it's, you know, you're always going to compare them to their best game, to their peak performance. So if we take this Mars Toys and we look at their peak performance, which I think a lot of people would agree would be that 1966 Cesar Romero Joker. There's a gap between the likeness of the, you know, Cesar Romero and that Joker, and the actor that plays Biff and this particular Biff. This is, yeah, I don't think it's up to their standard. I think everyone was kind of swept up in the hype after that Cesar Romero. I don't know. Even if this was perfect, I wouldn't get it anyway. So I'm just kind of calling it like I see it. No,
not for you.
I think this is the right character to make, but I don't think they've hit the mark.
For sure, Eddie. I know. I think you're a pretty decent Back to the Future fan. At least you've enjoyed it in the past. Would you agree with Shane? Is there any other character that Back to the Future needs to have, or are we hoping as a collector community that we just get a better Biff at this point? If this is not the one for you, what do you think?
There's not a character they need to have, but my version of Marty they haven't done yet. I haven't got a Marty yet because I'm holding out that Hot Toys will do a version of him in his prom outfit when he plays guitar on stage.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite scene in the movie, and I've been holding out for that version of Marty.
The enchantment of the sea dance version.
Yeah. So I definitely love to see that happen, but I think Biff otherwise is like the most needed character. I don't think that there's any. I can't think of anything.
You could
else
do a
more
Jennifer.
needed. Oh,
Which Jennifer? Which Jennifer?
You could do either or.
I like
trashy one from number 2.
I like Gen 1 version.
Gen 1. I agree with you guys as far as the likeness on it. I think on the right it looks fine. It's like one of those things with 1/6 scale. Every time is like, if you do an expression on a figure, it could either go really, really great or horribly wrong. And I feel like most of the time it goes horribly wrong. So that's why we get those plain Jane expressions, which kind of sucks. But I feel like it's good enough.
I mean, I always thought Biff.
I
always thought Biff looked like he was having trouble breathing through his nose a little bit, and I do think that this, captures that pretty decently, considering. Yeah. Except for the one on the left, I agree with. I think Pete, where it was like, if you took that head sculpt off without the outfit, would you recognize it? I think you would for the picture on the right and this photo, but not necessarily the red shirted head sculpt. But I don't know. We'll see. Thomas, what do you think? Biff, is it coming to your collection?
No, I'm not really a huge Back to the Future person, and I think the only thing that because I kind of kit bashed a Marty, and was very happy with that. I didn't really need Doc. I just kind of wanted to have Michael J. Fox represented in the collection, but Biff would have been a good bully for him. But if I were going to get one, I would probably really rather want to have a better one. Now, I have to admit, the pricing is good on this. And I mean, it's kind of amazing that you get 3 outfits, the accessories, and is it 2 or 3 head sculpts? I know there's at least 2, but wasn't there a third? There's not a third head sculpt there?
I think it's these 2 are the same, and then this one. But I could be wrong.
So Thomas, so if you guys are interested in this, you have to pre-order to get the exclusive neutral sculpt for this one.
Oh, the neutral sculpt. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, you get a lot with this, but all right, if I had to have Biff, I would have considered getting this just for the bodies and the outfits, and then maybe contracted it out to get somebody to actually, do a sculpt for me, because I don't think that these sculpts are really up to par. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's not coming to my collection. I'm not really a huge person on Back to the Future, so I wouldn't really have any interest in it.
Pete in the chat says, I'd like someone to make a decent Einstein. The one does look like melted candle, sculpted butter. He's the only other character I want.
It looks like a melted welly.
Yeah.
Shiny says, I'm totally okay with people risking expressions so long as they include neutral sculpts, aka the Doc Ock for sure. And then 12-inch Moose Stream says, at Classy, you can get extra bodies for this as well.
Yeah.
I do think the outfit and the body looks fine. It's the head sculpt that remains to be seen. But Jose, I want to stick with you for this one because Prey was one of kind of my favorite movies last year. And it came out of nowhere. I to be honest, was kind of done with the Predator franchise. I liked the first one. I even liked the City one, so I think that was the second one. Yeah, there were elements of Alien versus Predator I remember liking back in the day, but I was kind of done with the Predator franchise otherwise. And then when I heard Prey was coming, didn't know much about it. Totally just watched it blind. Never seen a trailer for it. And I absolutely loved it. But I will say that I loved this film more for the character of, is it Naru?
Naru. Mm-hmm.
Naru. Than the Predator himself. The Predator is a badass, feral Predator. Like, he's cool looking, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But her character was a standout in the film. And so far, this is all we've seen from the Prey line. So what are your thoughts on the Predator here? Is this something you're considering for your collection? Do you have any of the other Predators? And if they came out with a Naru, would that change your mind on collecting?
If they did, I would definitely consider it more. For right now, I like it. I don't know if it's for me. Mm-hmm. It's really cool, and I really, really like the movie. I'm not sure I'd want this particular Predator. I think I'm a fan of a little bit more of the original look. So I'm not sure. It's a standby. We'll see if this reaches add to cart, becomes available. Mm-hmm. Maybe then I'll take the plunge. But for now, I know it's not even up for pre-order on Sideshow, so we have time to think about it. So, but for now, I really like the movie. But if they make Naru, then that increases I always joke too with Joao that I'm gonna buy this one and then have him paired with John Wick. Because I want them fighting each other.
That'd be crazy.
Because it drives him nuts that you mix IPs.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make him fight John Wick because no one can beat John Wick.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna block him from my collection tour when I make it, just so he doesn't chirp me in the chat for sure. You do see her hatchet though on the back of the display base. I do actually like the display base. I think they could make it a little bit bigger only because he's kind of half standing on it, but that's the way it goes with a lot of Hot Toys lately, it seems. The price speculation is that this will be somewhere over the $400 mark potentially. It's not 100% confirmed yet, so don't take my word as gospel there. To me, that feels a little high. Now, I understand that with the sculpted body, the paintwork, it's a lot more custom than just taking a sculpt and putting it on a generic figure body under clothing. So I get that. But I'm thinking about like Jake Sully, for example, that we got last year. Jake Sully is a similar height. He's got a similar like body style of construction. His body's painted. You see the jointed rib cage there for articulation. That figure was, I think, in the $325 to $350 range, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've looked it up. So if this guy's over $400, I feel like that's kind of pricing itself out for me a little bit, especially as an option that it's like, I like it, but if the price was right, I would click the button today. If the price isn't right, it's one that I would wait to see if we ever got a sale on. And if it doesn't ever go on sale, I might be okay with just kind of like letting it pass. What do you think, Shane, would be the reason for the higher price point if this ends up coming up over the $400 range? And is this one you've considered for your collection?
This is coming home. And the price is actually not that high. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is because I think it was about 5, 6, 7 years ago, the last Predator we got was about $270. And at the time, $270 was quite high compared to the going rate, which is in around maybe low 200s. So I think this is going to be under 400. I don't see this going up on Sideshow as 400, to be honest. I see this going up as maybe 385, something like that, just shy of 400. But I think that's just basically inflation. It does seem on the high side of things, but you have to understand as well that this is like a 14-inch figure. I think like this is, although it's 6 scale, it's quite tall as well. So there is extra material. Look at the detail in that head sculpt. I'm not happy about it. Like, I mean, but if you look at it put it in perspective, 6 years ago, 270, and now, look at everything's getting out of control. So it's kind of par for the course, really, these days. Like,
they're slowly conditioning us. Soon we're going to be like $400 is cheap. I don't even know what he's
like
talking
if
about.
this, okay, let's say if they released the Predator 2 years ago for 270, and then this is 400. Like, I don't see this going on Sideshow for 400.
This video is either going to age itself horribly or tremendously, depending.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, we got
bookmark this section.
We gotta, just because I think something doesn't mean like I'm betting my house in it, and someone goes, "You're wrong. I saw you on that
I can't
stream."
wait to say you're wrong in my comments
so
on my
much
own video
easier
down
being
below.
in the chat. Like, that's like when you sit at home, these people in these game shows, and you're like, oh, how don't you know the answer to that? It's like that one answer in the 100 that they actually got asked what you knew. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I look, I think this is probably going to be just under 400, and I think 270 was the price allegedly by about 6 years ago. If it was 270 2 years ago and then it jumps up to 400, I can completely see why people be annoyed. But sadly, everything's getting more expensive. But yeah, this is awesome looking. Like, I think this is the second best Predator movie out there. And you're right about the Naru thing. She was a strong female character. Back to Yellowstone, Bette Dutton is a well-written, well-acted and depicted strong female character from Yellowstone. It's there with Sarah Connor and Michonne from Walking Dead and Ripley, people you wouldn't mess with, you know what I mean? And what I liked about this is she was kind of this is like a 7-8 foot creature, right? And then Naru was this like dainty, small, slight, character. To put them hand-to-hand combat, that would be ridiculous. But they didn't really do that. She got knocked around the place a while. She defeated this character they worked to her strengths. She was nimble, she was quick, she had skills, and that's how she defeats this character. It wasn't true like hand-to-hand combat, which would have been absolutely ridiculous, So I did like that character too, but I don't think she's coming either. Ben, there's two things. It's going to be under 400. I don't think she's coming, so you can timestamp me if you want.
And you don't think she's coming?
This is the way.
Oh, that's not the right one that I wanted. You hate to see it. This one.
It's the way she goes, buddy. The fucking way she goes.
It's the way she goes.
Unfortunately, I don't think she's coming. So.
Hate to see it, guys. Anybody else here want to chat about Alien? I know Eddie, or not Alien, Predator, I should say. Thank you very much, Eddie. You were excited about this guy. You have the NECA version of this, I believe, in your collection from Oxcon recently. What are your thoughts on this one?
Which is a great figure.
It is really good looking.
Part of me even thinks like, because I have that, I don't need this, because it's done well, but it's not 1/6 scale. So, I love that they're doing Predator. I love this movie. The price, if it is 400, is high. I think for me though, it's higher because if I'm only gonna have like one or two Predators in my collection, it won't be this one. Even if I did love this movie, even if all those things, like it would either be the Jungle Hunter or the Scar Predator from AVP. Because even though I like this movie just for nostalgia and stuff, those movies are better for me. Like, and that's what my collection is. It's more nostalgia than it is cool stuff. So I really want a Predator, and because this is the only thing we have that's new, this is my option, and it's still a cool option. But that's more where the hang up is for me with the high price. Is like 400. I could go back and get like a Jungle Hunter. Even though they're not as good as this new one might be, or I can go get another figure that I'm trying to get back or something. So that's a problem.
Jungle Hunter for first of all, I agree with you. If I was given the choice about this or the Jungle Hunter all day. But I saw a Jungle Hunter today on a UK group for £200.
Oh wow!
Really?
You talk about the classic Predator, or the original old one?
Yeah, I think it was like MMS 90 or something.
But do you guys think that with the hype of this film, we might see reissues? Do you think we're going to see reissues of any of those?
I hope that's the other thing that I'm like, that I go back and forth on is like, if I want Predators, I have to support this, because then that shows that there's
Eddie,
Yeah,
let's say
there's a
you're let's say
demand
you're
for it.
let's say you're in charge, yeah. Let's say you're in charge, right?
Bad
And Prey
idea.
has just come out, right? Would you immediately do a 2.0 of the Jungle Hunter, or would you put this out first, let people buy it, and then do the 2.0 of the Jungle Hunter? What are you gonna do?
I put the 2.0 out.
No, you wouldn't, because
I know.
you wouldn't be thinking as a
business, you
businessman.
do this. I know. That's why it's a bad idea to put me in charge. Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I'm like, fuck, I have to support this.
Yeah.
So,
Eddie,
yeah,
what
I'll
about-
probably try to get
What
it.
about the
I'd
biomask?
like to take his face off.
Would you be wearing the biomask, or would you be displaying this
Oh,
ugly
100%.
mother?
100% biomask. I've always been, with all Predators, a biomask fan. I know that the mandibles are cool, and this is definitely the ugliest Predator for sure.
Oh god, it's so ugly.
I like the
but he
biomask
also
the
has a
most,
cool
though. I think.
biomask, yeah.
It's hideous. It's gone to
Yeah.
bedside
I
table.
think-
Yeah, I've got the biomask on my classic Predator.
Oh.
That's the
If you
colour.
think about it more as like similar to an Iron Man, I feel like then the price is more justified. I know that it's not like metal like a die-cast Iron Man would be, but maybe it'll be a solid figure. Maybe it'll be like a good weight to it, and it does have the light up on the biomask. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of magnets used. Like I think the backpack will be a magnet. I think his weapon will be magnetized to his back. And it's huge, so it is and it isn't worth 400, you know. But
Yeah,
I think
that's
it'll
fair.
be solid.
I do think
you know
that they
what,
hide that they do hide the joints well here, and I like my joints, but they hide well here. What were you gonna say, Shane?
So I was just laughing at the joke first. I made a point there on the video that like we were all hyped about this, and then we saw the prototype on display, and it was just Joint City, and then we see this, and obviously this is a bit of Photoshop trickery and lighting tricks, so they're not as bad, but the ridge there underneath the rib cage, I mean, we have that on an Iron Man, perfect case in point, that new Mark III 2.0. Like I'm looking at the quarter scale right here, but they're separate pieces of armor. You've got the chest plate and the abdomen, and the chest plate passes over the abdomen when it crunches. But this is supposed to be all organic, and I suppose they can't do that with, they can give you realism, or they can give you the articulation there. I think that joint in the chest is probably going to be the most unsightly one when we get the final product. So
100%.
yeah.
I agree. Even Shiny says the seam line sucks. I'm okay to I think you could pose it away. I really do. I think that it depends, kind of like you said, on the lighting of your display. It depends on how you've got the angles. But even Marco, he's constantly telling me about his Scorpion from, I can't remember what, Storm Collectibles. And he came really jointed, and I've always loved Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But I didn't buy those figures because I didn't like the way the bodies looked all that much, and I didn't want to have to body swap them. But then Marco keeps sending me these awesome photos and showing me these different poses of those being kind of posed away, and it looks really good. And I think if you can do that on a Scorpion figure that's so obviously jointed, this one will display a very, very nice. Pete says he reminds me of Terry Nutkins. I have no idea who Terry Nutkins is,
No
but
idea.
you'll love to see it. Guys, let's move on.
Do you know
We got a
Shane?
couple more.
No, I should know, but I don't.
I'll
Who is it?
put a picture up. and
Yeah,
just
put
see.
it in the share it.
He was
Share it.
on.
I'll
He was on
pull it up.
Animal Magic. I don't know if you had that
Nutkins.
with.
I thought you were just
with
messing with me,
Johnny Morris.
Honestly.
No,
I'm guessing this is
find
not a
picture.
compliment.
Does anybody out there in
You
the
carry
chat
on.
know who Terry
I'll
Nutkins
get
is?
get a picture up. I mean, he's dead, so be respectful of the dead. But
Oh, well, geez. Okay, well, yeah, of course. I thought you were just trying to get me to say nut, but guys,
well,
this
no,
was-
it's just
this was teased a few weeks
It
ago. Before we got a chance to see the Spider-Man 2 kind of game come out, we knew some of these figures were coming. This is starting to look like a pretty nice line. Obviously, the Spider-Man PS4 game at the time, the original one, the first version, first game, we got a lot of figures from that, including so many of the different suit variants. It was crazy. With the game release, we're getting a chance to see this Venom now coming to people's collections in the future. And when the game was teased, we had a chance to see this 19-inch statue at the time. And I remember the kind of the talk amongst the community was, well, like that might not be completely, scaled well. Like that might just be kind of an artistic representation of how big Venom is in comparison to Spider-Man and Miles. And then we got to see some screen clips from the game, and you're like, okay, that Venom is like the size of a 3-story building almost. Like, that's pretty crazy. But then we actually got to see what the figure is going to look like in comparison to other 12, or other 6-scale figures, other 12-inch figures, I meant to say. And it's insane to me. Like, literally, Spider-Man and Miles comes up to this guy's waistline. Now, the one thing that I've noted that I feel like subtly disappointed by about the figure is that it is just a scaled up body of what we already have with the Tom Hardy Venom. The proportions are the same in terms of what the body looks like, where the joints and the seams are the same. The paint job is different, obviously, and we do get the white symbiote spider. It's also 6 inches bigger than the Tom Hardy Venom. It's 4 inches bigger than Carnage, which that Carnage was one of the biggest figures I'd ever seen up to this point. So in my opinion, I actually think this guy scales better with the Carnage than even the Tom Hardy did, even though those are from the movie canon versus the game canon. Jose, I want to start with you first, because I don't think I've actually heard your opinion on this Venom within the community, unlike some of the other guys here. What are your thoughts on Venom? Is this coming to your collection?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute there. There we go. So I'm going to say no, only because I've never played the game. I've never played any of the games because I'm an Xbox guy, so I don't have a PlayStation. So I've never played the games. I've seen the cutscenes, but I've never played the game. I have the Tom Hardy Venom, and I don't know if I don't feel like I need this one. The only thing different, as you mentioned, he's basically the same except the size and the logo, right? The white symbiotes on his chest. So no, I don't know. I don't think it's for me. I mean, I reserve judgment until if it releases and maybe I change my mind. But for now, and then I don't really love the logo on his chest, to be honest. I don't love it. I don't like how it goes, and it's not how I like the logo to be on the chest, personally. It's cool, but I don't think I need this.
Absolutely. The thing that I was worried about most for people's displays is that, a lot of people are saying, due to the size, at least its dynamic posability, you can get it into a cabinet if you kind of squat it down and stuff like that. But one of the challenges that I'd had with my Tom Hardy Venom is that kind of clear, I want to say like paint job that he's got over top, like that clear lacquery material. If you keep that bent for too long, I've seen some failure, some peeling of that material. And I'd be worried that with this guy, trying to fit him in your collection full time, if he's not standing in a relatively non-dynamic pose, there's a chance of that coating failure. Eddie, is this one that's coming to your collection, though, for Venom representation?
To quote Chris Tucker in Rush Hour 2, he is too damn big.
He's too damn big.
It's cool to see a Venom with the symbiote. It's cool. It's not my Venom. I'd much rather have a McFarlane-looking Venom, closer to Spider-Man size. It is cool. To me, you're spending a shit ton of money on a Kenner figure. Like, I don't even think his knees are going to bend as much as they bent in that last picture. I feel like they did that somehow with photo editing. I don't think he'll bend that much. But it's cool that people are finally getting a Venom with a symbiote. I haven't played the game yet either, so I don't know if the Venom in the game is cool or, what version of Venom it is. It looks like Monster Venom from the comics, which was a bigger Venom, had even that same kind of jagged symbiote look to it. So it looks like a cool figure. I think it is priced pretty good for the size of the figure. But yeah, it would be a hassle to display, and I don't know. I think I would prefer the Tom Hardy one over this one, but
yeah. And not to get into spoilers, but they say he's not Eddie Brock, and that might be something that some collectors, some purists, I personally, I think Eddie Brock is Venom, even though I know that Flash Thompson and a few others have worn the symbiote. So to me, it's like Eddie Brock is Venom. So to know that it's not him, without getting into who it may be, in terms of the spoilers of the game, that kind of like also deducts it a point for me personally.
I know, like, for me, just in terms of them making this, it does give me hope that we will see an Eddie Brock Venom, but more of like a comic representation. You know, when I close my eyes, I think of the Spider-Man symbiote symbol a little different, kind of like you mentioned, Jose, just the way that it's shaped, but also like more of like the blacks and the blues that you get a chance to see from the comic, like the shines of blue. I think that could be really, really cool. Again, not a spoiler for the game, I've played 17 hours of the game so far, based on my kind of add up, 17 or 18 hours, and I still haven't seen the Venom yet either. Now, I tend to just swing around to do whatever I want on my way to doing other things, so I'm sure you could get to that if you, faster than me, but still, there's a big portion of the game that doesn't include this character, so I don't know if this will necessarily be the representation. I've got the black symbiote Spider-Man suit coming, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that will be kind of my stand-in for the game. Otherwise, I agree with you, Eddie. I'd almost rather have a collection of like McFarlane size 1/12 versions of this game. So you could have like a small little like shelf dedicated to multiple suits and multiple characters and have a bit of a display without it taking up a ginormous amount of space. Because when I pull out my measuring tape and I measure 21 inches of Venom, it is like... I have no idea where I would put him in this room. I have no idea where I would do it. So while the price is phenomenal, it's only $10 more expensive than the Tom Hardy Venom was. I still don't think I could necessarily justify it. Shane, I'll go to you, and then we'll skip to the next figure here. I know you're not a huge video game guy. Is this one, though, that you're picking up, video game-wise? And are you interested in the figure as a result by any stretch?
Pete, do you want to take this one?
He's like a hard no and a hard no.
Pete's just kind of going... Pete's kind of going, has he met Shane before?
I know.
No,
why is this the best figure you've ever seen?
No, but the thing is, like the face on it there, like on that left, it looks pretty damn cool. Like, you know, it's just like the way the actual it's threatening looking. The smile, the kind of the eyes, it looks kind of slimy. Like it looks pretty damn cool. This image now is perfect for what I was going to say. I'm all about accuracy, and I appreciate that they went and made it accurate to the game, even though it might not be accurate to like the comic book Venom or something like that. It's kind of like that Jurassic Park quote, which I'm going to butcher. It's like, you knew you could, but you didn't think if you should, or something like that. I totally butchered that, but you get the gist of it. Like, I need
to make a clip of that. We say it so often, then we say it wrong every time. I'm going to make a clip for next Let's Get Nuts.
You're going to do that, but should you, would you? It's apparently it's game accurate. Not, you can't say screen accurate, but you're probably talking to the wrong person, Ben. I'm not getting it.
No, that's fair. I mean, honestly, a lot of us are in these chats all the time. We do talk about this a lot, but kind of like you guys were saying earlier, even Jose, like, you know, sometimes you can reserve the right to change your mind. At first, I was like, it's too big, hell no. And then I was like, okay, maybe, because the price is pretty good, and I think it's pretty cool. And then another week has gone by, and now I'm like, I might wait. Because even my Tom Hardy Venom, I had a hard time fitting him into the collection. He felt too big in comparison to my other 6-scale collection. This would make Thanos look like a child, like the little small Venom that you see on the left of the big Venom here. Like it's kind of crazy. Like some of those pieces that are already big within your collection would suddenly not really look all that scary and ominous. I just don't know if it would fit. I had the same trouble with the Batman Beyond figure that I got from the video game line a few years ago. When I put him next to my Christian Bale Batman, Christian Bale came up to that Batman's shoulder, and I immediately didn't like it as much because it didn't feel like it was within the same scale, which to me felt like it wasn't just another suit of Batman that exists for me. It felt very divergent, and I didn't like it, so I ended up selling it, despite it being a badass figure. I just didn't have the video game line. But guys, let's move on because we got one more today. I just put in a few of these extra slides just so you guys could see it. But even still, I think the new Venom looks cooler with this Carnage, I think, than the Tom Hardy Venom, if I was going to display it. This one came up, though, this week, and this is the final figure talk of today. Grand Admiral Thrawn. This line so far from Ahsoka, I think it's been really, really well done. We've seen Sabine so far, we've seen Hera, we've seen the little droid, we've seen Thrawn here now, and in terms of likenesses, I would say this is probably the best, but they're all really, really strong. In fact, I feel like Hot Toys is really bringing their A game. I had to look a little closer to see if this was rooted hair at first, despite it being so short, because I think even the sculpting of the hair looks really, really good. And I know some people say this looks like Elon Musk. I don't really see that necessarily. There's a few photos here and there, maybe, but I am so on the fence with this one because of a few reasons. I feel like if I get this, I need to have some pieces to kind of give him as a companion. I don't know if Thrawn can just stand alone. You disagree? Okay.
I disagree 100%.
Tell me why you disagree.
Well, Thrawn originated in the books. So you could have him with your Return of the Jedi crew. You could have him with your Imperials. You don't have to associate him with the Ahsoka show. This is something I would also mention to Shane, even though Shane he was messaging me all weekend about how he loves this figure.
Jose, you're cancelled. Nice for joining us. Bye-bye.
I'm teasing him, but I think you can grab him and you don't need to get the rest of the Ahsoka line. Even though the Ahsoka line is looking so good, every figure, as you look, perfect. Yeah, every figure is like a knockout. Like they're bringing their A game with these figures, and
really colorful, Really colorful.
Yeah, the Shane. This would look amazing in your DTOS. I'm just saying. I know you were telling me all weekend about it, so I'm just letting you know.
Thing is, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. Like, all jokes aside, these pieces are stunning, and then you have Chopper there as well, which is a fan favorite. This is going to be a beautiful line if the final products live up to the prototypes, or 95% there. Just because I didn't like the show, that's just not how I collect. And I know there's another faction of collectors like, you don't have to enjoy the show. Okay, maybe you don't. I do. Do you know what I mean? So there's nothing you're saying I disagree with. You're right. These are going to look stunning, and I'm really happy for the people that are getting them. But I'm also happy my wallet's safe because it looks like it's going to shape up to be a really, really good line. They're fantastic looking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I did forget to put the Chopper in, but again, just him being so bright orange as well, like crazy amount of coloration here. Pete, what do you think? Is Jose correct? You could have Thrawn technically stand by himself with the rest of the line, or what are your thoughts? Have you seen the? Have you even seen the show? I don't know if I ever got your opinion on the show either.
Yeah. I watched the show. I was disappointed with it. I enjoyed some of the lightsaber duels. I thought they were really good. Particularly the one with Ahsoka versus Skull. I think they're great. I think the figures look great, and we talked about Hera on our last show, and I would consider getting her just because the figure looks so good. Even though I didn't enjoy the show so much. Thrawn, I remember. I think I read the Heir to the Empire stuff quite, when it first came out a long time ago. I know people go mad for Thrawn and they love him really. I'm not that much. I'm not a huge fan. I thought he was, he was okay in this show. My big concern would be how badly that blue dye is going to fuck that suit up. No doubt, because Hot Toys are not good for bleeding, and obviously with a flesh color and a white. And I know a lot of people had problems with Krennic just keeping that thing clean. The blue would concern me a little bit. It is really good. Here we are. It's the Empire. Very cool, Jose.
Oh, 1 second, Jose.
I'm not sure if I've still got one. I might.
Wait, there we
go. That's it.
Oh yeah. Man,
that's
Thrawn
not the original
looks crazy
cover, though.
there, eh? He looks scary as hell.
Yeah. I've got the original one somewhere. Because it had some weird wizard guy, didn't it? That had the Force, some old Jedi guy that Luke went and. It looked a bit like Gandalf, I think, on the cover of the book. There we go. That's the one. Yep. There he is in the middle. Yeah.
I love how he's just pulling it up. He's like, we didn't script this at all, by the way. This was not planned.
He's got all this pan. Yeah, that's it.
Good job.
I think that's the cover of the original book. Yeah. No, I think they're doing really well. They're doing really well, and Chopper's cool as well. So I just think, I will just say, thumbs up to Hot Toys. I think you're really bringing your A game with this stuff. It's good to see them kind of I know they're not directly going against in art because it's a kind of different level, but I think there's been a lot of people saying, Hot Toys have lost it, and I think they're showing that they're still top of their game.
Absolutely. Now, it's interesting, though, because I would say, you know, when I think about lines, a lot of Hot Toys collectors are like, if you're going to start a line, you have to complete the line. And like, I took these photos here and put them together as well, because these are some characters from the show we still haven't seen. You know, Ahsoka the White. This, I can't remember what the Stormtrooper armor is called specifically, Jose. You could probably correct me there. And then Ezra Bridger. I think it was you, Eddie, that said you didn't like the look of this actor as Ezra, if I'm not mistaken. But we also have like Balin and his apprentice, and like this, right? Like, what to you guys would make this a complete line for collectors? Do we have to have every one of these characters we've been introduced to, or do you think we only need a couple more for it to feel like a completed line? What are your thoughts, Eddie?
I know the answer.
We need Ezra, but the thing is, I don't mind the actor. I just didn't care for the look, and we didn't get him enough in the show for me to care for that version of the Hot Toy. All the other ones, like Sabine and Hera, we saw her enough for me to care for the life-like version of that character and not need it to be the cartoon representation. Even Ahsoka in this made me like the life-like character more, or as much as I do the cartoon version. So I'm down for Ahsoka the White. But to me, to call it a complete line, you need Zeb and Kanan, and we'll never get those. So I'm not really going into it as a line. I just want certain representation of those characters. I definitely don't care about Enoch. I know people are like, we need Enoch. I don't know why. He didn't do shit. And it's not, to me, it's just a samurai looking stormtrooper, which isn't even that cool for me. So
I thought at the first they were kind of hyping him up to be like cooler than he ended up being. Like, he ended up kind of just
he's another
Boba Fett?
whatever,
like
the
a bait and
sequel
switch,
trooper
right?
girl, Phasma. He's another Phasma. He's like all those. We never see them do anything cool. But
was-
Balin and
you
Shin,
need that
for sure.
You need that that Conor McGregor meme. You'll do nothing, because like
Oh yeah.
that's
Eddie,
Did
what's
nothing.
what's the character's name, or Jose, from the Rebel show, the alien creature that's with them? Is it Gar or Zeb?
Zeb.
Thank you.
The one from Mandalorian.
I'm shocked Zeb didn't end up in the show, because he was in Mandalorian, right? But then,
I would have thought that
I
was
would've
why
thought for
they
sure.
teased him in
Right?
Mandalorian, because he'd be in this. But yeah,
and he like, I've only watched the first season of Rebels so far. Like, I'm trying to get caught up, but like, he plays a pretty big part in that show. He's a big cast member. I'm shocked that we didn't see him, or that they really even didn't mention him. I don't think at all in Ahsoka. Very strange exclusion. But you said you know the answer, Shane. So I'll stick with you before we wrap today. What do you think would have made this a complete line?
So this is from someone who didn't enjoy the show, but I'm just going to do this for the fans. They need Balin Skull, right?
He was amazing.
Yeah, right. So definitely need Balin Skull. Then they want the Ahsoka the White. They want Hu Yang. They want Enoch
Hu
and,
Yang,
and multiple of those zombie troopers. Okay, you also want
Night Troopers.
sorry, night troopers. Okay,
nerd.
night troopers. Grand. Okay, and the girl. What's the girl's name?
Shin Hati.
Shinhati or Shinhati?
Yeah.
Oh, Freudian slip. But yeah, her definitely. I feel like I'm missing one though, but that's the line as far as I can see. Who am I missing? That's all.
The one that I forgot about on
Morak?
LWO. Yeah,
Morak?
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
He'd be a sick Hot Toy.
Yeah.
I know he didn't do much either, but I just love the design. So.
Same.
Yeah, I think that would be the line, and that would be, I think, a complete line. Are we missing anyone? I don't think anyone else. Oh well, wait, no, sorry, the Night Sisters and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the I can't remember the girl's name.
Starts with an
Jose?
M, right?
Jose?
Isn't it Lisbeth Morgan? Or something like
Morgan,
that.
yeah. I think that'd be
Yeah.
it then, but that's what they probably should do if they want to drive home.
You don't
the
want one of
story.
those little
I don't
rock
know.
guys.
Yeah, I was
3-pack
thinking
of the
little
turtle
frog
rock
or
fellows.
turtle guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Leonardo and Raphael.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Shane definitely
Slowest
wants
getaway
those ones.
scene possible.
Shane, Shane wants to army build the turtles. He told me personally.
Why do you think there's all these free detail spaces here, man?
Exactly.
The tiny terrapins inside here, man. This is what's
The tiny.
I'm gonna fill it up with water as well. It'll be like a tank.
Yeah. All right.
Love it.
That's awesome. Thomas, I know you're not the biggest Star Wars fan out there, but I know you still have good appreciation for it. Did you see Ahsoka? Is any of these characters going to come to your collection before we wrap today, buddy?
I did see Ahsoka, and no, I will not be bringing any of the characters, the figures to my collection. I just don't collect Star Wars as a general rule. But those look really good, and I do like how colorful they are. I do like lots of color, and as a matter of fact, speaking of something, and you might want to pull me up on full screen for this. You remember when I told you about the little, what was that abominable snowman's name from the movie? What did it call
From
him?
which film?
The Wampa.
Force Awakens.
Oh, the Wampa.
The Wampa?
Okay.
Oh,
Remember how I told you that I thought that this one looks like him?
Nice.
This from that Year Without a Santa Claus. I think that little stop motion thing. That's what I was telling you. I thought looked kind of like that character. So yeah.
Absolutely.
But no,
Thomas,
yeah,
can I
this
just
is
say there's nothing classy about that bog roll in the corner of your screen there.
about the what?
The bog roll.
Oh,
The toilet roll.
Whoa.
Oh, it's all right. It's
that
kitchen
is
roll. It's not toilet
paper
roll.
towels. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
There was
yeah.
no lubriderm right there, so it's kind of classic.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta wipe my nose. It's wintertime.
Classy.
Getting to the fall.
You also have to show them that Pinocchio that you showed on the show the other day on After Dark, because I don't think most people saw that. If it's within reach, anyways.
Yeah, well, I'll show you the other one. I actually have 3
he's
Pinocchios,
got-
so
oh my
I'll show
goodness.
you this one.
You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? This is what you tuned in for on a Sunday afternoon. Oh my goodness. What the hell?
What the hell? He's been lying to someone. He's been lying to someone.
Wow.
He's been lying to all those ladies.
You got another one, I think, too, right?
Yeah, this is Morning Wood.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Is that 6
amazing.
scale? Because it looks 1 to 1. 1 to wood.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Jeez.
When I say he's a real boy, he said I'm a real boy.
That's what you consider big, classy? I'm sorry about you, man.
Hey,
Sorry.
look, give him the scale.
Wow, that's messed up, man. Holy
So last but not
yeah.
least, tell us about this
Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
That was when when at my school, we were putting on we were doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I just watched
And-
this before I come on here. I'd never seen it. I literally just watched this.
That's a crazy
Really?
movie.
Oh yeah. And
I-
so I decided to dress up
literally
as Frankenfurter, and of course I'm nearsighted, so I still had to wear my glasses. But yeah, that's me all dolled up as
Yeah, that's one
Frankenfurter with
sexy boy.
How long ago was
has
this?
the
How long
biggest
ago was
nuts
this,
on the
Thomas?
show.
That was in what 2000?
This was Tuesday. Be honest.
Tuesday.
I think that was 2000. 2011 or 12. Might have been
Cool.
2011. Yeah, so
Crazy.
so
Good
it was a
thing
minute ago.
There you go. There you go. I don't recognize you without the facial
Look at
hair,
that.
but you make a great looking Frankenfurter, I will say.
Yeah,
Look at the girl in the background.
She's like, what?
she's checking it out. She said, like I said,
Must not make joke about facial. Must not.
you do not see it from the back, and so of course, like I said, you never have too much junk in the trunk. So
Never
I'm
too
sure
much.
she's checking it out.
Oh,
She was having a good
100%.
look.
Yeah, 100%. It's seared into her memory now. Guys, great show today. I
it in the
love
mind,
you
man.
guys. Thank you for rejoining me for the return of Let's Get Nuts. I am going to try and host Sundays again every week over the next couple months again. It takes a lot of work, but again, with you guys, it makes it so much more fun. The community seems like they're really enjoying the show. So to all of the people who are here in the chat, including my mom who's in the chat, say hello. Love you especially, and love the rest of you guys. Thomas, quickly, buddy, what do you have coming up with your life? Anything personal you want to talk about, or your channel, of course, before we...
I've just been hanging out on other people's streams. That's kind of been where I've kind of been hanging out, and I don't know, I need to get off my lazy kick and start doing a few things. So I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to put together some shorts and maybe do that, because I think given my adult ADHD, that's probably where my wheelhouse should be for right now, is sticking to shorts. And I think I might be able to pull a few of those off and not have to devote an excessive amount of time. And maybe like with your suggestion, maybe sometime I'll get the confidence to put up my own little live stream and invite you guys in to join me. And so we'll see where that goes.
Just make sure if you pull your shorts off on YouTube, you let us know ahead of time. Okay, that's my only request.
I will.
It's my only request. Love you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Classy as always. SpongeBob SquareBalls YouTube channel. Make sure you check him out. Jose G. Hernandez. I finally got a chance to see your new. I want to call it avatar. He's on my screen clip now, so check him out. I feel like he's a little bit of a mixture of like John Wick and like maybe some Keanu Reeves Matrix in there a little bit, and Jose as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's it's Al Pacino and Carlito's Way, because Mario kept on saying I looked like Al Pacino in that movie.
Fair enough.
But it kind of looks like me. That avatar kind of looks like me. So I just used it, and like I made it myself. So, and I showed it to the guys, and they're like, "Yeah, because you need some sort of logo." And I was like, "Okay." So I made it myself. So.
Right on. You've been making your rounds quite a bit. Anything coming up on like a YouTube channel? Like, are you getting one started up now? Or what's your plan?
Hopefully in the future, maybe by next year, I can get the YouTube channel going and maybe do a few shorts, maybe a few live streams if I get up to it. Just like Classy Thomas, I'm a little hesitant about it, but maybe I'll work into
start with a collection tour. You're just randomly pulling the coolest shit out from your side drawers there. Like I feel you must have a really interesting room to dive into. I think that would be a great place to start.
We go over there. We got the Falcon over there.
Art prints and like man, the Falcon in the car. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yes. Things. So stay tuned. Let's pressure everybody to get Jose to at least release a collection tour at the very least.
That'd probably be the first thing.
Kickstart the YouTube journey. Buddy, you're welcome here anytime. If there's ever an opportunity that I can help platform you so you can be successful on your own gig, please let me know. You're always welcome here. A great guy and always a good fact checker. Anytime I'm wrong, I thankfully have Jose to correct me.
He's annoying
So
as shit.
it helps, honestly. It helps.
But yeah, I'll be roaming around on all the channels. I'll be on with Shane tomorrow. Nice. So I'll be roaming around with the LWO guys and everywhere else where they invite me. So I'll be around.
Well, then amazing. Thanks for coming back, buddy, once again on Let's Get Nuts. Shane, we'll stick with you. What's happening tomorrow and in your life and on the channel that we can look forward to from you, good sir?
What's happening tomorrow? So tomorrow we have the Hope Show, which has been in the last few weeks we pushed it back to 9 p.m. my time. That's 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Now trying to do the maths on this after the fact that we've daylight savings time and we've gone like 1 hour earlier today, so that reduces the time. So I suppose 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time tomorrow night, Monday night, would be
what's 1 p.m.
5 p.m. Eastern Time, because the gap was 5 and now it's 4. Would that be right, Pete? And then I think Mountain Standard Time, which I think you're the only person here who uses, that would be 4:30, and then we would normally be 1 p.m. It's actually 2 p.m. now, Jose, I think, because we literally put the clocks back today. So so it'll be 2 p.m. in our time. But anyway, so tomorrow the Hope Show is on. PM. New segment called Would You Rather. Yeah. So you're in anyway. So I'll send you the link. But yeah, new segment as well called Would You Rather. So yeah, you have to tune in to see what that is. Look, folks, I had a great time today. It was great to see you on. It was great to have a chat. And so yeah, massively appreciated. So yeah, I just really enjoyed today. That's it.
You're on mute, Tom.
Hate to see it. Will always be my 800, number
Always.
800 there for sure. So,
I'll always have 800.
definitely check out One Six Figure Focus if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show. Amazing content over there and very consistent. Definitely one of the hardest working folks on YouTube, despite him being a person in real life who has a real life job also, and a badass stormtrooper costume. So love you, buddy. Thanks for joining in as always. Mr. Pete, it's been a month since I've seen your lovely face. What's going on over in good old England and the Only Fools in Collecting YouTube portion of Collecting Weekly?
Yeah. Well, we've got OFAC on Thursday, and I'm hoping that wayward, errant co-host of mine might turn up this week. Ian, having
sick,
missed
right?
the last two
Been
shows.
a little sick.
Yeah, well. So my good friends Shane and Thomas have helped me out last week. So thanks very much to you guys. Yeah, no, I hope Ian should be back. Yeah, we've just our usual kind of mix of stuff. I thought, we've touched on some of the figures you talked about today. But we should, the exciting bit is we should be meeting up in person on Friday with Rainer in London.
Cool.
He's
Cool.
over with his family. So
Nice.
we're all hoping to meet up and have some dinner on Friday night. So that should be good.
Cool. I got to meet
Looking forward to
Reno
that, so we'll
recently at his shop in Austin there. Or sorry, in San Antonio. And great little shop. If you're ever in San Antonio, go check that out. What is it called? Rainer's Collectibles. I could be wrong. I'll double check that. Put it in the comments. Rainer's Rarities. Thank you, Eddie.
Well, Pete, whether you need me or not, I'll be there.
Yeah, always send me the link too. It's always kind of
Just send me the link. I'll pop in with it.
It's middle of my workday a lot of the time, but I work remotely a lot, so sometimes I could potentially just jump in too. So always send me the link if I can hop in. I will. Join you guys for sure.
Yeah, so. I know Eddie's been on a few times as well.
Money.
Heck yeah, Money Mendes. Speaking of money, what's going on with you over there, Mr. Eddie? And thanks, Pete. I love you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Eddie, what's going on with you? Anything we can look forward to? I am sure I will see you on Tuesday night, as always, on Collecting Weekly, but anything else that's coming up?
No, that's pretty much it. You can catch me on CW on Tuesday or sometimes Thursdays, either OFAC or Small Talk. I was on After Dark last week, so maybe I'll tune in or I'll join in on After Dark. LWO's on Friday, and now that Ben's back, you can catch me here on Sundays. That's pretty much it, though. Sorry, guys, if you're subscribed to Made Media and I haven't done anything. I can't really be bothered to make. My problem is I can't make the same content that everybody else is making. I don't know. I don't love it if I'm already doing it everywhere else.
It's not the same content though if it's a different perspective. You can talk about the same things and it's still different. I feel like I watch everybody so often, but there's so many different takes that I'm like, man, I never even thought about it that way.
I get what he's saying though. I get what he's saying. I have an advantage.
You don't want to rinse and repeat though.
I have an advantage because I've got a deadly Irish accent.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of you.
I know.
the
I have
other
to watch
day.
you with subtitles on most of the time.
I thought of you the other day. I don't know if you've ever done shit that overseas collectors say.
Yeah, he did.
I will note that down. No, I haven't. But there was a
or
segment on overseas
guys. Because the other day I was asking
overseas.
Ian and Pete because one of my other friends who lives in the UK, he said
overseas.
Overseas. He said the dog's bollocks, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, dude, Shane should definitely do like a what overseas guys say, because it is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, that's my new favorite phrase I've never heard of is the dog's bollocks. As a matter of fact, on your show, I made every excuse I could to say the dog's bollocks.
That's amazing.
So,
yeah.
Guys, great show. Eddie, thanks for coming back. Always appreciate you here. All of you guys in the chat, in the panel, I couldn't do the show without you. It would be way more boring if I was talking about nuts and random weird screen globs and all the thing by myself. However, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we do have a new Let's Get Nuts logo given to me by Dean the Dream Martin from Collecting Weekly. Once again, I have to figure out a way to pay him for this thing, but I have put the design up on TeePublic. I do have a couple designs on TeePublic if you guys are interested. TeePublic, you don't really get any money from it. I just think it's kind of fun to know that there'd be people in the world out there maybe wearing like a Let's Get Nuts sweater, or I thought the mug was really funny because it says Let's Get on this one side and then nuts on the other side straight up. So I really like that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun. Like there's really no channel payoff for me, but cents on the dollar. But I think it's cool if you guys are out there wearing some Ben Thomas Show merch. So if you're interested, you can find the link in my YouTube channel description for that. I know my mom ended up buying a random bunch of sweaters for Christmas for my brother and my stepdad last year, and they had some one-of-a-kind designs. Some of those designs ended up getting copywritten and taken down on me, so they literally have one-of-one versions of a Ben Thomas Show logo and stuff.
Why did it get taken down and copyrighted?
I think it's because I used the Christopher Nolan bat logo behind my face.
All right.
But I think it's because it's like a I think they flagged it
So
as
basically,
not original art.
If you'll get away with sneaking some potentially copyrighted stuff out there,
Yeah, a little bit up
Because
to a certain extent.
the logo I have obviously is it's a photograph of the Stormtrooper Commander and then Baby Grogu. So I was like, I'd love to make a few T-shirts with that, but it's probably copyrighted. But if I can sneak a few through, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Sorry, hit the wrong button. Sorry, I missed what you said there, buddy. So the logo you have is what?
Yeah, I was basically saying like the logo I have is the Stormtrooper Commander about to take Baby Grogu out. So, I mean, I have the PNG and I was thinking about TeePublic just getting it done. But if I'd only kind of want a few, I wouldn't mind one or two myself, like, or whatever, maybe give them away from channel members for giveaways. So if I could sneak a few past the copyright little screening there, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Well, and like for me, even my main Ben Thomas Show logo, my face picture that I've had forever, has the Triforce technically behind me, similar to what I did with the Bat logo, but it's never gotten flagged. So I just like slipping in the Triforce when I get an opportunity. But
what's the Triforce?
It's from Zelda Ocarina of Time. That's the Triforce. So
the next since you're going on dates again, you gotta the next date. You mind if I slip in the Triforce? Just throw it in there.
The Triforce of power. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The headband, I'm just getting like Johnny Lawrence vibes off Money Mendes. I think Johnny Lawrence.
No one noticed, but I was really. Go ahead, Pete. If you think you know.
I was going to say, is that another way of saying two in the pink and one in the stink?
Wow, Jesus, it was actually the good old 3-incher. But I was going for Josh Brolin from the Goonies, but nobody.
Okay. Okay, that's better than nothing.
I love that.
I'm just using my inside voice here.
This
So.
is just Eddie in a nutshell. Love to see it.
Ben, on your next show now, you're going to have to at some point do a segment on nutscaping.
Thomas did send me what nutscaping is, and I didn't add it this time. If you guys are interested in knowing what nutscaping is, I will put it in next Sunday's show. So you guys let me know below. Also, just while we've got the chat here and the panel here, let me know with the time change if we need to extend the show by an hour, or I should say push it by an hour, if that works better for people's timelines, both viewership as well as panelists. Let me know. I'm always flexible. We can always change it up. Right now it's 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for me. I can always do it at 4. But I want to make sure you guys are available to be here as well. But guys, I think... with that said, it's been a pretty successful show today. I just enjoy chatting with you guys. I love having a laugh. Thanks for the respectful discussion with regards to Matthew Perry. If you guys are watching this on replay, thank you for your like. Thank you for your subscription if you have already. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe to all my friends down here below. And Pete, I would say, once again, we got nuts. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I'll be back.